Ladies and gentlemen, please be aware we are about to start the stream now. We'll be with you in just a second, guys. We're just finalising a couple of things, but we have a pretty exciting match of Nighthaunt versus Flesh Eater Courts here, both going one-on-one, and we'll be with you shortly. Please hold on. Coach, there is a series of comps in play this weekend, and we'll go through them very shortly. I have all the information from the tabletop I need, so we can start in a moment. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're doing very well. My name is Ben, or the One Man Bailey, and I am joined by Moog, or at the _Moogie.
How you doing? I'm great, thank you. I'm really excited for this game.
Yeah, we've got a solid game two. We were a Skaven player won game one, and we were like, oh, can we get Skaven on stream? Unfortunately, they're into the same person that we had on stream before, so we didn't really want to double down on the Idoneth stuff. So we'll see if we can get them on for game 3, maybe.
I'm hoping. Well, I don't hope he loses, but
Yeah, let's hope he has fun at least. But we are here from the Hobby Room. Thank you very much to everybody joining us. I hope you are well. We've got some nice new faces out there. I hope you're doing great. We are streaming the UK's biggest tournament this weekend. That's it, this weekend. In the Mancunian Carnage, there were 81 registered players.
Yeah, there were.
And due to a couple of dropouts and things like that, there were only 71 players. So, sorry, 77 players here. So not too many dropouts, which is quite nice.
Nope.
On that amount. And for today, we have Nighthaunt versus Flesh Eater Courts, which is damn exciting. Exciting.
I'm a big fan of Flesh Eater Courts.
Yeah,
Massive
it is
fan.
really exciting. You're right, Alex. Come on. This is Alex, ladies and gentlemen. He is the wonderful TO here for Carnage, and there are a slew of Carnage events coming up. We'll give you more information about those later. But we are also going to be streaming, I believe, providing Alex is happy with us, also going to be streaming August's Carnage.
He is. I hope so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
With any luck. Thank you very much. And we will jump right onto the comp for this event. Now, the reason I'm doing the comp first is because both of these lists are overpointed, I believe.
Yes, both of these factions are getting more.
Now, people go like, "Why is there more?" But we'll get into that. Let me pull up the comp for this tournament. We see it quite a lot nowadays, like people changing some rules and things like that. But let's really quickly go through these. First enhancement has to be from the battle tome. Yep, pretty standard. In the Vice, doesn't matter, but in the Vice, you can't do aggressive expansion turn 1, which means you can't do it throughout the game. Sure. Sons of Behemoth, this is slightly different. There are 10 less on each of these. I did a typo, so I apologize about that. For the Mighty Makes Rightier, they can kick 2 objectives, and they can take an endless spell if they've got a tome. Fair play. Add Monster to the Dank Cold Trog boss, which makes sense. Why is he not? Stormcast Eternals get a massive nerf in this comp in the sense of you cannot retreat in your hero phase move, but more importantly, and the way I think it should be, Stormdrake Guard can't be battle line without Kazari or Krondris, which are the 600-point named dragons. And your once a game hero phase move is only 6 inches, and Stand and Shoot or Release Hell activation is a bit of a change on the fire stream, which is fair.
Yep.
Cities, there's no strike and melt away towards units, only away from them. Seraphon, Slan, remove that Foresight ability. Gone. Skink Priest increasing points. Coalesced, your -1 damage only applies to Croxgore monsters. And we've seen an upbringing of Stegodons and stuff there, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Gitz, Bone Splitters, and Skaven get 6 reinforcement points instead of 4. Skaven, Nighthaunt, key. Sylvaneth, Gloomspike, Gitz, Khorne, Flesh Eater Courts, key. And Slanesh get 250 extra points.
Yep.
To help make up for their garbage battle. Prime Hunters added in Kragnos and Marathi. And then the Thondia book is not in play for this weekend. That will come back to us for a second. But what that means is that all of those comps together mean that we have seen quite a few people take things like Khorne and Skaven.
Yeah, we've had quite a lot of uptake of the slightly less used factions. There was a surprise of an extra Skaven list that we haven't listed.
It's
that
the
got
Ringer.
added at the last minute.
It's the Ringer. It's the Ringer, so the spare player.
The spare player. The spare player bought another Skaven list, which, you know, let's not complain about that. Skaven, best faction in the game. Easy.
Naturally.
But we've got 4 Flesh Eater Courts here. Of course, Flesh Eater Courts, small model range.
Yep.
But I feel like the Flesh Eater Courts players are dedicated to their list. Big fan.
But yeah, so there's the Blades of Khorne have also got representation here, which is really nice. Everything on there has representation. In fact, there are only 2 factions not repped here this weekend. And that is Karajan Overlords and Realm Lords. The Karajan Overlords and Rumineth.
Yep.
Lumineth.
As we said earlier, surprised there's not a Lumineth with this many people here, even with the comp pack, you know, taking away the Fox's move in.
Yeah. I realised I didn't actually go through this. Out of 34 order lists, no Lumineth.
Beautiful.
Mental.
It's what I like to hear.
Mental.
What I love.
Absolutely crazy things. But we'll come back to those stats in a minute. Shall we go through the army lists?
Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant. So we will go through whichever pops up first. Bang, we're going to go through Simon Eccles, or Speckles as we more lovingly know him, playing Nighthaunt and the Emerald Host, which is really nice. He's at 2,235 points. out of 2,000. Woohoo! Comp. Why not? And he's got a 14 drop army, so a pretty solid.
It's one of the largest dropped armies I've seen outside of my own.
Yeah, it's quite a lot. 127 wounds, so it's pretty solid. We've got the Guardian of Souls with a Nightmare Lantern, and the Beacon of Nagashazar, because why not, with Shade Mist. He's got Shrouds on Ethereal Steed with the Lord of the Host command trait. He's got Korgash Curator, which is the new book guy, right?
No, the Korgash
Oh, no,
Curator is the
guy.
Torturer Man.
The Torturer Man. So I always get those two mixed up. Kuros, Alinda, obviously, husband and wife, taken to the battlefield. Why not? They might be dead, but they can be fabulous whilst doing it. We also have 10 Chainmaster Horde, 20 Grimgas Reapers, 5 Hex Wraiths, 3 units of 10 Harridans, ready for the next book, I assume. 8 Maimon Banshees. I love Banshees, so I'm happy with that. A Corpse Cart, a Black Coach, and then, last but not least, the Burning Head, with Predator's Domain as the grand strategy. So that's the holding the more terrain at the end of the game than your opponent. There's a pretty solid list. Like, there's a lot of ghosts. They're ethereal across the army, so they're ignoring all of your rend. But it doesn't matter about rend if you are just going to mortal wound you off the table.
Yeah, so we got Flesh Eater Courts. Everyone loves them. So, what's the obvious thing we take here? Court of Delusion. It doesn't say it, but this is Feast Day. The only one, the realistic only one that you take.
Well, that's why I put Court of Delusion rather than Feast Day. Cause,
so that, of course, gives them a free use of fighting twice per phase. Well, not per phase, per combat phase, essentially. But they've got the Abhorrent Archregent by himself. He can summon some ghouls onto the battlefield if he wants, or a Corsair, or some knights, or whatever whatever they want to be called. He's got the Dark Wizardry, Dermal Robe, so he's at +2 to cast and +2 to unbind. And on a 2-cast wizard, that's obviously quite a good thing.
It's insane.
Since his own spell is incredible at D3 extra attacks on a unit. He's got the Spectral Host, which allows big things to, or things that can already fly to run and charge.
Which is nice.
Otherwise, just gives a unit fly, which might be useful for getting the Mega Garden later on the list over things. Then we've got another Abhorrent Archregent. Do the same. Then we've got Abhorrent Ghoul King on Terrorgeist. The first one has the Gruesome Bite trait, so that is reroll failed more hits.
Oh, reroll more hits, isn't it?
No, it's failed more hits.
Only failed
it's
more
failed
hits.
More hits.
Cool.
So, you don't want to be failing those more hits when they can do 6 mortal wounds apiece.
God no.
And again, he's got Spectral Host for the run and charge potential. The second one, because he can't have the same mount trait twice, Razor Clawed adds a point of rend onto the claw weapons of the Drake.
Yep. And Flaming Weapon.
And Flaming Weapon on top for +1 damage.
Would you not have been better taking a mounted Zombie Dragon for that?
No.
I think a Zombie Dragon's better.
No.
With Flaming Weapon.
No.
Yeah. No. And with Razor Claws. Because you're now, 3 damage claws at -2, but then you've got the Zombie Dragon's consistency of damage.
I don't like the Zombie Dragon at all. So
that's fair. But you also didn't realise it was 12 inches on the tabletop.
But it's also different command traits and spells.
Oh, for the Zombie Dragons?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
You can give Feel No Pain on a 5-up, I believe, or a 5-up ward.
That's pretty cool.
With a Terrorgeist.
Yeah,
whereas I can't exactly remember right now what the Zombie Dragon one is, because I'd never use it. Then he's got the Mercenary of the big Dr. Og Fort Kicker.
Yep.
He's a nice big Mega Gargant. Obviously, because he's got that, it'll take 1 CP away from him turn 1 because of the Disruptive Presence.
Yep.
And then he's got the battle line tax of 40 crit ghouls.
Yeah.
All in units of 10.
Yeah.
In Hunters of the Heartland, 3 units of 10. Bam. That's it.
Oh, yeah, it's a 9-drop army, so he's going to be out dropping speckles, which means he'll get the choice of who gets to go first. And we are playing Survival of the Fittest. Now, you went to the tabletop earlier on, Moog, and had a chat with the players. What are the Apex units, or the Predator units?
So, we'll start with the Flesh Eater Courts. Obviously, it's the 2 Terrorgeists and the Mega Gargant.
So, they are the Predators for Nick.
Yep.
And then Simon.
And then on the Nighthaunt side, we've got the big unit of 20 Grimghast. And then 2 of the units of Harridans.
There are 3 on the table. So I imagine some of them are in the grave. In fact, I imagine the Predators will be in the grave until they have to come up turn.
It's certainly something they could do, potentially.
Yeah, in the ground, sorry.
Yeah. So we can already see, coming out of here, that Nighthaunt got the priority.
Yep.
And chose Ferocious Advance. Nice, easy one, turn 1. And they've already popped the Burning Head out by the looks of it as well.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go and update the thing real quick. I'll be right back.
Yep. So, something else that happens in this event is there's extra secondary objectives, just as a little extra thing for them to try and do. These give victory points at the end of the game. You get 5 if you complete your secondary objective, and you get 5 if you deny your opponent from completing their secondary objective. There are 10 to choose from over the event. Once you've picked one, you can't pick it again for the rest of the event. But what we've got here is the Nighthaunt have only counts as 1, which is to slay your opponent's highest pointed behemoth, which of course is the Mega Gargant in this list. So he'll get an extra 5 points if he kills that Mega Gargant. On the side of the Flesh Eater Courts, they have a cunning plan, which is to win the battle, but without completing his grand strategy. So I believe his grand strategy, off the top of my head, is the one to keep beast. I think he's a Beastmaster. To keep all of his big things alive. So if he gives that up by throwing them all into combat and having them all killed, he gets 5 points instead of 3. And likewise, if they deny the other ones, so if for some reason the Nighthaunt managed to leave the Mega Gargant alive, he would gain an extra 5.
Do you know what I find funny about that Mega Gargant?
What?
It doesn't give up extra VPs.
It does not, because he is not a Gatebreaker. He is Big Dr. Og.
Yeah. Fort kicker.
Yep.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's actually mental.
I don't think it. I don't think it is. You already get -1 CP for bringing them. I honestly don't think the Mega Gargants even potentially need to be on that document. To be honest,
it's not -1 CP per turn though. It's only
no, it's only the first battle round,
which isn't a lot. No. I don't think it's.
I mean, I'm very much of the opinion that they don't need to be on that document anyway anymore.
Yeah.
There are things that are worse.
So you spend that CP when you deploy, don't you? Technically.
Yeah, you just don't know. It's the one that you generate for your general being on the battlefield.
Yeah.
You don't get it. It flat out says that's the way it works.
Oh, okay. Fair play.
So you still get your. He'll get his, 2 for startings for getting the second? And, although we've.
Speckle stole one, that's why I was asking, with Kurdos.
Yes, so he will be quite heavily down on the command points now.
Because Kurdos has an ability. In fact, let's just pull War Scroll up on screen. Why not? So Kurdos has an ability saying, if I cannot rule, none shall rule. At the start of the hero phase, if your opponent receives a command point for the general being alive, after they've received the command point on a 5-up, you -1 from your command points and you get a command point.
Yeah. So I was against Kurdos in the last tournament that you hosted here. And I was playing Skaven, who can steal command points. So we went through a little bit of stealing command points from each other.
That's fair.
He stole mine, and then I stole it back.
Back and forth between the pair of you. Right, okay, so I'm just having a quick look. What is it called? Is it Doctor... How do you spell Dr. Og?
It's just Drog.
I'll just put Fort
It's just
Kicker.
Drog.
I'll just put Fort Kicker. I keep calling him Dr. Og, but his name is just Drog, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Big Drog.
Because I don't think I've actually got... I don't know if I've got him on in the push. We'll see.
No, he's a standard gatebreaker.
Yep.
He's got 1 extra ability, which
Cool.
he has a I believe it's a breath attack if he's in combat with something, which is just roll a dice for number of enemy models within 3.
Yeah.
And then on a 6 it does a mortal wound. Other than that, he's completely a gatebreaker.
Nice. Pretty nice, though.
Yeah. I'm strongly of the opinion that the Gatebreaker is the best Mega Gargant, so Death get quite lucky
100%.
in their choice of it. And I myself have run Mr. Og in Flesh Eaters many a times.
Yeah. All right, there you go. A nice simple turn there from Speckles in turn 1. Hold 1, hold 2, hold more. He's just pushed up onto the objective. Got that massive block of Grimghasts there to be able to tank up some stuff that's going on. Because it makes sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you imagine is gonna go through the Flesh Eater Court's mind here? What do you think you're gonna pick and do?
It's a bit of an interesting one, really, because you could just throw the Grimghasts into... Sorry, your units into like the Grimghasts and things like that because you get the extra CP, the VP from from killing them with the Apex Predator unit rules.
Hmm.
But sorry, the Predator unit rules.
Yep.
In the mission, but I don't know. What would I do in this position? The Black Coach is a non-starter. There's no point in it. The Corpse Cart is helping give a ward out, I think, isn't it, in this list?
No. The Corpse Cart gives out pluses to cast or minuses
Oh, yeah,
to
that's
cast.
it. Yeah. So I'll probably try and get rid of the buffs and things like that, or that give buffs to casting, and the wizards quite early on, because that is what Speckle's army pretty much relies on, is getting as many buffs out as possible, and then being able to hit really hard with a big old unit.
Yeah. One thing while you went over to the table, was the secondary objectives.
Yes.
The Flesh Eater Courts actually picked the one to win the battle without completing their grand strategy.
Yep.
So he actually does want to get all those monsters in and dying.
Yeah, so you probably just randomly Wily Coyote charged them in.
Yeah, so because he chose that, because it's an extra 2 points over,
the grand strategy.
Yeah, and he denies the enemy getting 5 extra points for denying that. So he's going to try and force combat as soon as possible, I feel. Obviously, he would give up extra points if the Predator units managed to kill the Terrorgeists or the Og.
Yeah. And we see, obviously, the predatory spell moving there with the Burning Head, just being frustrating and annoying more than anything else.
Yeah, so the Burning Head just does mortal wounds if it's next to something when it finishes the move, then it disappears.
Yeah.
Nice and simple. D3 mortals.
D3 mortals is pretty solid. Like, it's nothing to be sniffed at, is it?
It's maybe got, I don't know, for a cast value of 7 and using a spell cast on it. Okay. It's okay. I think it could do with maybe staying around and not being removed every time it did the D3 mortals. Like maybe roll a dice and see if it does, but it's a cheap 20-point endless spell,
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a cheap endless spell, so why not?
You can't, while it is, just a basic thing, you can't, finish a move on it. You have to go around it.
Yeah. But it can just be a pain in the bum for positioning, I guess.
Right, so for Flesh Eater Courts, we've got the broken ranks on the cards. I would massively assume it's going to be those 10 chain rasp out in front.
I mean, yeah, it would be. It's a nice, easy 2 points here. I think even if you throw Drog in there, and you just go, okay, cool. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to walk the Mega Gargant this way, smash through these, send a Terrorgeist. You could even just try and get rid of the coach, maybe double turn into Kurdos there, and then maybe go this way with the other one.
I think Kurdos can put out a good amount of damage, so I don't know if you want to, Hail Mary and risk. But I mean, I say that he wants his units to die for his own extra objective. So
I mean, Kurdos can put out damage, but not if he's dead.
Well, not if he's dead, but he does have a decent amount of. He's got respectable damage for his points cost, I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, and for it being old Nighthaunt. Just to stress, this is not the Nighthaunt book that came out this morning. This is still the old Battle Tome. They're giving it one last hurrah.
One last hurrah before the brand new Broken Book.
I don't think they're broken. I think they look good.
I think they look relatively strong, but not like take over and win every single game without breathing kind of thing.
It's going to be interesting to see how it develops. I know from people kind of like theory crafting it all and theory hammering that there's quite a few builds out there that are looking tasty.
Yeah.
But it'll be nice. It'll be nice to see Nighthaunts on the board again. Obviously, over these last few months, they have not done well.
No, they have really struggled. But one of the best things is that Speckles has been championing them for forever. So, Ditlev, thank you very much for your resubscription. I appreciate that.
That's not to say that Nighthaunt are a terrible army. Obviously, with people that are well versed in the army, knowing what they do and know how to play it. Nighthaunt are still, relatively strong, and obviously with a little bit of luck from the 10-inch charges and stuff like that, they can be a respectable army still.
Yeah, I mean, if you just spike all your 10s, you're winning and living life, right?
I mean, it feels pretty good, doesn't it? Especially with a big block.
Oh, yeah, with a big old block there. Yeah. Broken Ranks is quite an interesting one. Simple one to get, but it's relatively early on, which is quite interesting. Like, I'm surprised, because there is a lot of battle line there for Speckles. Why Nick's gone for it so soon is quite...
I mean, what else? What else do you really pick this turn?
You can aggressive expansion.
You could aggressive expansion
Because you've got the capability to just walk some ghouls on there, fly this guy here, and take that one, which is uncontested.
Yeah, you certainly could aggressive expansion. Certainly.
The reason I would do it in this turn or turn 2 is because turn 3 there's the option to remove a thing, an objective.
Yeah. Other than that, does this mission follow the usual hold 1, hold 2, hold more?
Should we have a look at the mission?
Let's bring up the mission.
Because we haven't actually looked at it yet, have we?
No.
Bang. Survival of the fittest. So 5 battle rounds, classic deployment, a bit of a staircase again, like we had in the last game. You choose 3 different units, they become your predators. If you kill a predator with another predator, you get a victory point. But otherwise, it is hold 1, hold 2, hold more, and then the battle tactic. Yeah. So there is a mighty 6 points available from the mission, 7 if you kill a monster, 8 if you do your battle tactic with a monster, and kill a monster.
Yeah. And obviously, if you manage to smash all 3 predator units in one turn with 3 predators, an extra bunch.
3. Yeah. You could get 11 points in a turn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's massively unlikely that you're going to be able to get 11 points in a turn, but there is the option there.
Yeah. So we've seen them ghouls go up, as we said, claim that first objective.
Yeah.
Don't know if they're going to be within 9 for it yet. They did a redeploy.
Yes, he did do a redeploy. I'm surprised Speckles redeployed there. I don't know why they would have done.
I guess maybe it's safeguarding against the potential of the Terrorgeist. I mean, the Terrorgeist got a pretty big base, and I think what we can see is, as I said, with the Endless Spell,
you're going to be hard pushed. You have to touch.
Oh my word! We've got the other. Usually, I'd say fly the Terrorgeist over here, but the Burning Head blocking that space, so he couldn't land.
Yep.
Which is a really good use of an Endless Spell.
Yeah, I mean,
really
for 20 points, a Predator Endless Spell that can move, what is it, 8 inches a turn?
I think it's 7, 8, yeah.
And then have the ability to just block people off from where they're wanting to land is more important than the mortal wound output itself, I think.
Yeah. But let's just assume that the redeploy of the Banshees was to stop the Terrorgeist just hopping over there and getting into both units straight away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty decent. And then, yeah, we do have the ghouls coming onto the bottom objective as well, as predicted. So, if you did have aggressive expansion, would have been able to do it. I guess...
Sorry, go on.
Just say maybe he's just banking on being able to do it in a later turn.
Yeah, very possibly. The reason I like to take sort of like aggressive expansion and stuff earlier on is because Speckles is already walking away from the table. That's it, he's done. No, he's getting a drink. Because it was Nick's birthday yesterday, I believe, so happy birthday, Nick. Yeah, the reason I like to take something like aggressive expansion or something in turn 1 is because there's no dice rolls involved. If you can get victory points by not having to use dice rolls and use things like movement or guaranteed abilities on your war scroll and things like that, it means that you are in control of what is happening. Yeah, like up and down, there is nothing that can stop you. You are in control of getting those points.
Yeah.
The moment you introduce dice to it, even though, for example, the big old fork kicker there in the middle of the battlefield will go through those 10 chain rasps like Curry through a toddler, there is still a chance that you just tank on 1s.
Right.
And you roll 1s for every attack. So it is more risky, obviously, pretty much guaranteed, but I would have preferred to have gone with something consistent like aggressive expansion.
Right, so we can now see on the bottom of the board we got a bunch of Crypt Flayers coming in.
Yep.
That'll be from the Abhorrent Ghoul Archregents that are sitting on the throne way back.
One of them, I think, is garrisoned in it.
Yeah, you can garrison them in it. Which is... I don't know if it's much of a garrison, it's just a bunch of stairs.
I find it stupid how you can garrison in it. I like to think they meld into the throne, and they're inside the throne.
Yeah. It could be one of them. Alternately, I believe the War Scroll for the Terrorgeist lets you summon in 3?
I thought that was ghouls for the terrorists.
No. Let's bring it up and Naviganda quickly.
It's a command ability, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Summon Royal Guard. 3 knights.
Oh, okay.
So a knight's unit is either a Crypt Horror or a Crypt Flayer. So it could have been the Abhorrent Ghoul King, one of them. And it's worth just mentioning that these are all once per game summons.
Yeah.
You can't be using these every turn, otherwise, I wish they could, but otherwise it would be a bit silly. So, other than that, it's just normal deep strike rules. Flayers are fairly good in combat. Usually, you bring them against kind of things that you need the rend for,
Yep.
or things that are low bravery. Neither of which Nighthaunt are.
I think one of the reasons Nick's brought them in here is because they are faster moving than the horrors.
Yes, they are.
By 4 inches, I think.
Yeah, they've of course got their wings.
Which is really, really nice. And also, probably because he's not got any horrors with him.
Well, who brings horrors? They're
They're 2 damage each. They're alright.
They are. I'd
have preferred horrors in this matchup.
Yeah. Unless you're purely going for the aspect of movement.
Yeah.
Which, let's not forget, Age of Sigmar is a game where you can use a lot of movement very well.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And even then, Crypt Horrors are pretty swingy with their damage because they rely on rerolls from things being nearby.
Yep.
And then getting the 6s to get extra damage as well. It's not to say Crypt Flayers are bad in this matchup still. They've got 4 attacks, hitting on 4s and 3s, at minus who cares?
Yeah, minus who cares?
Unless it's going into the into the corpse cart, in which case the corpse cart cares. But yeah, it's easy to imagine they'll probably just swing into the back of something. They might try and pick off some wounds on Kurdos.
Yep.
Who's only got 7 wounds, I believe. So they could very easily do it.
They're on the wrong side of the board for Kurdos, unfortunately, because Kurdos, as we're looking at the screen at the moment, he is on the right-hand side of the screen.
I thought it was behind the black coach, sorry.
He is behind the black coach, but the summons were on the other side of the screen.
No, there's 2 lots.
Yeah, they're both on the right side of the screen, aren't they?
No, there's one right at the bottom. By that
yeah,
J.
he is hit by the bottom. Yeah. Okay, I thought he
So
was measuring further off to the right.
He has popped at least 2 of the command abilities to bring things on.
Yeah.
And by the looks of it, I assume that will be the Abhorrent Terrorgeists. And you can see 1 Terrorgeist has got into the black coach now.
Yep.
And then we'll patiently wait and see if the next one manages it.
Yep. Oh, you can see much better from this angle. This angle's actually relatively solid. I'll take it.
So yeah, those flayers could get into him, or they might just try and get into the back and get onto those hex rays so that they stop protecting Alinda.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was a CPP failed charge there.
No.
Unfortunate.
Yep.
CPU roll charge. So in Age of Sigmar, you can make a charge roll. And then if you fail it, you can spend a command point to try and re-roll it. Providing you have like a hero or an elite unit or whatever.
Yeah, the Mega Gargant has got into the Chain Rasps.
Pretty simple.
I say the Mega Gargant should be able to do it. Obviously, his rend doesn't matter to those Chain Rasps.
No, but how much damage does he sort of do? Do you want to have a look and go through the War Scroll?
He does a fair chunk, let's put it that way. So in addition to the rule that I said earlier about the death-specific Mercenary Mega Gargant, at the end of combat he does extra mortal wounds to a unit. He's got his impact hits. So on a 2+, D6 mortal wounds to the unit. Simple. He can reroll hit rolls of 1 for Mighty Stomps. Simple. He doesn't matter about the death grip because they're not a monster. Other than that, he's got his Almighty Stomp, 2 attacks at 3s and 3s, -2, which Nighthaunt don't care about, D3 damage. 1 attack with the grip at 3s and 2s, D6, and then right now he will have 10 attacks with that Fort Crusher Flail, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s, and 3 damage apiece. So if he gives himself the all-out attack, hitting on 3s and 3s, 3 damage. And while the Nighthaunt don't care about the rend, there's only so many saves of 5-up you can make on Chain Rasps.
I mean, the downside of them is, yes, they can't be negatively or positively affected by, save modifiers, but they are only a 5-up save.
Yes.
It just means you can't use all-out defense on them.
Yeah, and then of course they've got their ward save as well.
Oh yeah, a 6-up for being near. Oh, they have to be. Isn't that? No, they have to be near wholly next to a hero to do that.
But within 12 of a general or friendly Nighthaunt.
Oh,
hero.
within. Oh, of course, it's an old book, so it's not wholly within. It's
no,
just
it is wholly within.
Oh, it is wholly within.
Yeah, all the death books are too wholly within at this point. It will be interesting if this Mega Gargant does not manage to kill these Chain Rasps.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I mean, you can always fluff the rolls, and looks like he did make another 5-up save there. So it looks like he might have only removed 3? Which he would have done on the way in and maybe with a stomp.
This is why I'd have got an aggressive expansion.
And I say, we don't know if he's quite finished all of his attacks yet. He's still got the Death Breath.
He's making his way through it. His death breath.
His Death Breath. I'm sorry, it's called like Corpsey Halitosis or something on the actual War Scroll. I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called.
Oh, sorry. Is this the Terrorgeist?
He may have just done his impact hits on the way in so far on those Chain Rasps.
I was going to say, if he's... Yes, this is the Terrorgeist going into the Black Coach. Sorry, chat, we got mixed up just there. It's one of the problems with the order of play, I guess. But yeah, apparently the Black Coach is somehow alive.
So far.
Oh, it's all done. So
Okay.
now it will get to smack him back, I assume. Speckle fully expected for that Black Coach to just fall over.
Yeah, the Black Coach isn't that all that tanky either, but with a 4-up Ethereal, you get what you get on those saves, don't you? It's a 50% chance to save it flat out no matter what goes into it.
Yeah, it definitely is, which is nice, because it means you can maybe afford to throw them into something you wouldn't want, or other players wouldn't want to throw things into, because of rend and stuff like that. But if you just don't care, go for it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It's nice and easy to remember over your whole army. Don't care about your end. Not even going to work the maths out. I'm saving on a 4 or a 5.
Yeah, pretty much. I think, Kurdos is a 4 as well. I'm surprised that like Kurdos and Alinda aren't like.
I think Alinda in the new book that came out this morning might be a 3-up.
Oh, cool.
And then she has a 4-up ward?
Potentially. The army is different. The ward save is different across the army, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they get it regardless of their position now as well.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance really to read too much into the new Nighthaunt rules. Since I don't do them.
But you're way more bothered about Skaven rules, right?
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Skaven, if you want to win yourself an Echoes of Doom box, the segue is unbelievable. You can use !Battle Box in the chat. We're going to be giving it away at the end of stream tomorrow. You can get a free entry by emailing win.tothehobbyroom@gmail.com with the Echoes of War as the title, subject of the email, and your Twitch name in the body, or you can donate towards the stream, and every £5 donation gives you 500 entries into the stream. You need to make sure that you remember to email in, Moog, because you keep telling me to remind you, so I'm going to tell you every time I tell chat about it.
Oh, I will.
I will tell you to do it.
I will.
There you go. So !Battle Box in the chat if that is something of interest to you. Or you can join through to the Discord, and it will be there as well.
If you don't think I've already got a Skaven box on pre-order, you're wrong, but I need 4.
Need all them
You
Skaven
can
boxes.
never have enough Clamrat Storm Vermins. I've got to the point where I do have enough bells at this point. I've got 8, but
Jeez.
no, I'm sorry, 4 Plague Furnaces, 4 bells. But conversions, you can never have enough.
Definitely not.
So we must be nearing up to 18,000 points of Skaven now.
That is an awful lot of points.
How much is painted?
2.
Different question.
And there we go. We have lifted those chain rasps relatively easy.
Yeah. Not a massive surprise. I mean, if 3 of those flail attacks out of 10 went through, they're dead.
Yeah. And we're at the bottom of the turn 2, so you might as well use all your attacks here. All out attack used on the coach.
Yep.
Which is pretty nice. Why not?
Yeah, obviously Nighthaunt can't use half of the stuff because all out defense doesn't affect them.
No. Which is kind of, being ethereal has its pros and its cons. More cons than pros.
Yeah, sometimes being a ghost does suck.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I mean, being cursed to eternal damnation by Nagash, at least you get your 4-ups.
Well, I mean, yeah, there is definitely that.
But we don't expect too much damage to be coming out of the Black Coach. Not this early when it hasn't had a chance to power up or didn't get any impact hits and stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, the Black Coach, I think, is pretty much a write-off from this point for Speckles. I think it was just turn 1, put it over to one side. Can you lure a Terrorgeist over? If it can tank the turn, which it's managed to luckily do it can then hold Nick up for another turn, potentially. What you don't want to do, and this is going to seem really weird, if Speckles wins priority, he might not want to give it over. He might not want to take it, and might give it over to Nick so that he can keep that Terrorgeist locked up for another one of Nick's turns over that side of the battlefield. Because let's be honest, it's all about those 2 big dragons and that one big baby in the middle.
Speaking of priority, what do you think? I mean, it's quite obvious what the Flesh Eater, of course, is going to do here if he gets priority.
Yeah, I mean, you get priority, you go this way, you take aggressive expansion. If you don't, I think you probably should, Nick. Just because, turn 3 priority, if Speckles loses it or wins it or goes second, you can just take one of those off the battlefield. But I can imagine those go there. If he does get the opportunity to get out this way with the Terrorgeist, I imagine we will see some very unfortunate Nighthaunt penned in this lovely little section just here.
Yep. So, we're just getting the scores being input now, I think, for the end of this turn.
Hello, to everybody in the chat, all the first-time viewers and the long-time viewers. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being in here. If you've got any questions, please feel free to throw it out. And if you want to change the camera angles, you can do so with !view, then a space, and then top, left, close, whatever you want to do. Not bottom, though.
So, who's getting that priority into turn?
Yeah, so Nick got the 6 points because he got the extra point for doing his battle tactic with a monster as well, which is pretty big, which is nice. And we can see that... Oh, thank you very much, Speckles. I appreciate that. Lovely.
So let's not forget as well that there is still 20 Harridans in the grave.
Yeah.
Or in the underworld, sorry.
Nick just double-turned Speckles. Yeah.
So, let's not forget that he has 20 things, so that's a decent chunk of his list. Not on the board at this point as well.
The Harridans?
Yes.
They're not that many points.
Well, no, but when you put it up to it, it's a fair amount of attacks. If he got the turn, you summon them in, you start encircling them.
Yeah, I mean it's 20 models, right? Like it's 20 models, which is pretty nice. The double turn here for Nick is pretty solid. You obviously take it if you go second. I guess it's a bit of a weird one. So on this top side of the battlefield, you are locked up for a turn, but you're going to kill the coach. So what?
Yeah.
Whatever. And it's now, what does he do from this point onwards? Do we send the big old boy into the Grimghast? Because you don't really care if he dies, because that's the whole point, is get your stuff killed.
Yeah. I mean, do you even do a... Because Grimghast are respectable damage dealers.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's not forget they've got the range on that, so they can fight in that 2 ranks as well.
Yeah, if they're alive.
Yep.
Because they've only got 1 wound each.
Do you, potentially at this point, throw Drog and the Terrorgeist in, wipe out the squad so they can't be repopulated in any way?
Yep.
And then move on to the tasty Alinda behind it?
Yeah, I think what you could even start doing is threatening Alinda with the flayers that you've summoned over here, and possibly either look at the Mind Morns to drop them in, or even these Harridans over here just to try and get those done as well.
I don't know. Did the flayers both units fail their charge?
Yes, both failed their charge. Yeah,
okay.
There was this unit at the very top here had a reroll and failed, and then this unit just failed inherently.
Well, I think potentially what we may end up seeing this turn is those flayers will move up. They might get to redeploy a little bit further. But the Archregents still haven't used their summon, so we could immediately replace them with another block.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Or a Courtier to give them rerolls and such.
There is definitely the option for that. Speckles stole the command point.
Another one. Lovely.
Which means Nick only has one, I believe.
Yeah, but don't forget, due to Feast Day, his main, command ability that he would want to use is still free.
Yep, of course it's still free. Oh, we've already had a game finish.
Already?
Yep. And it's not Tom.
Oh, he's going to be embarrassed. That is absolutely shocking.
Absolutely. I'm going to move that microphone between games because a load of players play on the middle of the tables and not where the microphone is. Alrighty, chat. I hope you're all doing great. Thank you very much for joining us here. We do have Simon Eccles or Speckles with his Nighthaunt versus Nick Harding with his Flesh Eater Courts. Both of these armies are over the 2,000 point mark. They are under 2,250 points because that is the comp for Carnage.
Yeah. And just to confirm, the table that's finished, Kragnos and Mega Gargant, so not a surprise.
Kel Surprise. Oh, Burning Head moves, goes in. It's going to do some mortal wounds potentially.
Yep. It does do some mortal wounds.
This is to the ghouls first.
Oh no, we're still between phases, so we don't have to pick the battle tactic yet.
Not yet.
2 mortals?
So 3 on the ghouls. Yeah. And then 2 on the Terrorgeist. Hello, Spartan Elite. I hope you're doing well. And everybody else, hope you're doing wonderful. Thank you. Look at Speckles with his 4 victory command points that he's got over here. All to use on nothing.
He's only going to get more. Of which he could potentially rally something if something survives and isn't within range of an enemy.
Yeah.
You can all-out attack in the combat phase. And you can certainly stop things running with bravery.
Yeah.
Apart from that, not much to do with them at the moment.
Yep. They're just saying there's not much they can do from her Speckles' heroic actions.
Yeah, no. I thought Lady Alinda had a range attack, but it's actually just an ability on the War Scroll, not a range attack.
Yeah. Which means... Oh, sorry. What battle tactic do we think?
What battle tactic would I pick? Aggressive expansion is free.
You've already got it, right?
Yeah. Aggressive expansion is free. Alternately, Savage Spearhead. You've got 2 units in there already.
Also free.
Yep. Well, I mean, they'd have to survive the turn. But that just puts you to not moving them. Or just moving them slightly up.
Yeah, there is that possibility.
Alternately, are 10 Harridans likely to kill 3 Flayers? Probably not. So, I mean, it's something you could do. And let's not forget, he can always hold that for another turn. And then use the Archregent to summon ghouls.
Yeah.
Or something in the back.
Yeah.
So, as long as those Archregents are alive, that's always a potential one for taking. So, you're in no rush to finish that one. It's just, will those Archregents start moving forward to give the D3 attack spells, possibly? Till then, as long as they're within an inch of the throne, their command abilities are free. The ones that summon things on. So that at least helps combat the fact that his command points were stolen.
Yeah.
In addition to the Feast Day, of course.
Yeah, it definitely gives them the opportunity to get more bodies on the board. That's an easy Savage Spearhead as well, isn't it? Like, I don't think you need to worry about that.
Yeah. So, me, myself, aggressive expansion all day.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's definitely a solid shout. I think it's the best point, and that seems to be exactly what he's just done.
Alternately, Monstrous Takeover, also free.
With 3 monsters, though, you can afford to wait to do that, I think.
You can, but obviously, again, his grand strategy is to lose all of those monsters.
Yeah.
So ideally, he wants to get them in.
Yep.
Because, let's not forget, if he fails to get his monsters to die. He doesn't get 5 points, and his opponent gains 5. So that's a swing of 10. Right, so we're just waiting to see what goes on with the movement and hero phase. Are they going to summon in some... Well, summoning happens in the movement, end of the movement. If I could turn into a bird, what bird would it be? My word. I would be... What would I be? An Etherwing. There we go. I can explode upon my death.
Apologies. Aggressive expansion, indeed. And it was the 2 objectives that he's already got because it's a free one.
Yes.
There's no way for him to redeploy into position, I don't think, once you've put... For example, I think you move the Terror guys first, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
no,
if they retreat, they're getting more into the flayers. Alternately, move the flayers first. If they want to redeploy, they have to go either round the rock or towards the Terrorgeist.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you don't want to be anywhere near it. That, do you?
Yeah.
Speckles wants to be fighting on his terms here because one of his Legion's abilities for Nighthaunt is if you make a charge on a natural 10, 11, or a 12, you get to fight at the moment you finish the charge, I believe.
Yes.
And then fight again in the fight phase.
Yes. But what Nick might want to do as well is start spreading out those ghouls across the board. Start spreading the flayers out so that they can't bring those Harridans on. Because they need to be 9 inches away when they come on the board.
They need to be near a hero as well. No, they don't. Not for Nighthaunt. Not for Nighthaunt, I don't think.
I'm not entirely sure from the top of my mind. From the Underworlds. No, yeah, it's just more than 9 from enemy units. So if you start splaying those ghouls out across the board a little bit, you summon in the 20 extra ghouls from the Archregents or some extra stuff. Try and really control where they can start bringing those Harridans in from beyond the grave.
Yep.
And then by the time that they're, able to come in, they've got nothing really to support them potentially.
Yeah. Is it going to be a relatively quick turn 2, do you think, from Nick? Or is he going to have to really think about his positioning to be able to put himself in a favourable position in case Speckles, for example, does double turn him?
I'm not entirely certain he does.
He's got enough tankiness in those big 3 boys to be able to just do what he wants.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about innate tankiness, but he can certainly start doing whatever he wants.
So, Nick is just doing all of his movements here, trying to pull out a redeploy from Speckles.
Yeah.
Early on.
So there we go. The flayers coming up behind them so that they can't retreat backwards from the Terrorgeist.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Well, I mean, if they rolled a 6, those Banshees could still get up the little temple. But, it's just putting them closer to the flayers again. And of course, since he's moved forward, he can now bring on more stuff. Because it's the same measurement from last time of where he can bring in more stuff if he wants to.
Yeah, he's just got the space to put it in behind.
Yeah.
Both of these players are experienced players as well. They've got plenty of what we call reps in, which allows them to be able to know little tips and tricks that more inexperienced players wouldn't be able to.
So there goes the Terrorgeist forward, and I believe that is a redeploy on the Maya Milns.
It is indeed.
Of 4 inches. So yeah, going up the ruins.
Yeah, respectable. I mean, they do fly, so they don't really care about the vertical distance, do
they're
they?
spooky. They're spooky. They just walk straight up it or through it.
Yep. A nice solid redeploy there from the Mine Ones. Not the full complement of 6 which you would have liked, but it now turns that what would have been a 3-inch charge into probably a 7 or a 6, dependent on how the redeploy happened.
But actually, with Mr. Og, who has moved off the point, he's obviously coming in for a side flank there, so that as many of those Grimghasts as possible are not getting attacks in. Whereas if he had just gone straight into it,
yeah, it's really clever, and it's a really good sign of a player. You know you want to go into them. It's just what damage control can you do to prevent going into them. What Nick could actually do, and I think what might be a really solid play here, is put Dr. Og this way and put the Terrorgeist this way, meaning those Grimghasts can't pile in at all.
Yeah, you certainly could.
You don't. While the Mine Ones are good and fun, I don't think they're necessarily the big threat.
Or, what I would say, multi-charge him into this little hole here, so he starts tagging in a Linda.
Yeah,
Or the Corpse Cart.
but that's a lot. Well, yeah.
A Corpse Cart ain't doing anything to worry a Terrorgeist.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you do just double that.
Plus, let's not forget, that he does have the 2 activations. So if he is multi-charged into a unit, kills one, he's got the next target right there.
He's got 2 activations, has he?
Feast Day.
Oh, yeah, of course. And because there's no monsters on the battlefield, there's Speckles, they can't roar it.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the biggest disadvantages here to playing Flesh Eater Courts at the moment, is their biggest thing is like their Terrorgeist Feast Day, double fighting, which is really, really good. However, if you get roared, because it's a command ability, you can't use it.
It's a major downside at the moment. But so yeah, multi-charging I think is the way here. And then if Dr. Og and the first activation of the Terrorgeist completely wipes that unit, you then munch on that Corpse Cart, they lose their bonuses to casting.
Yeah.
Or alternately, if you've got the range, chuck it all into a Linda, start picking off a bodyguard.
Yeah. I imagine Speckles is going to be splitting those wounds over to the Dreadblades.
Because of course he is playing the Emerald Host, which is the bodyguard faction.
Yep.
But
sorry, that's an amazing level of sportsmanship there.
What?
They moved into the shooting phase, and Nick just went, "Oh, I forgot to summon." Speckles just went, "Mate, summon away. You do it if you want to do it." So he's letting Nick go back and do his summoning.
So have both kings moved out from the throne, or is that just one?
Just the one's moved out.
Okay.
And the other one's still touching the throne, so he still gets it for free.
Yeah. So he's got the option here of summoning in pretty much everything that isn't a monster.
Yep. Look at the iridescent colours there on Speckles' army.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Nighthaunt have a lot of good potential of paint schemes. And while the Classic Ghost is nice, and it can be really, really effective when done right, I'm interested with the new tome giving them some more sub-factions. If we're going to see like the you've got the Quicksilver dead. If we're going to see some like out there paint schemes for them,
Yeah, it'd be quite nice. I mean, some metallic, different metallic colours that we'll probably see at some point.
So it looks like we've got more flayers coming in.
Yep. I thought this was a solid point. If you've got the flayers, you might as well use it. And then he's got one more summon left because he had 3 summons. Yeah, he got 4 summons.
He's got 4 summons.
So he did the first 2 in the first phase. And there you go.
Effectively
Flayers
both.
going. Yep, you might as well. Speckles again doing a great job. Putting the other flayers behind in a place where they can go for Nick, whilst he saves a bit of time and does the flayers he's got down here.
Just look at that all-around pressure on that Nighthaunt army, literally from every angle.
Yeah. It's yeah. Sorry, Speckles is saying this is a great game. You set up, then Speckles gets a turn, and then he resets up, and then Speckles gets a turn again because of the whole of the summoning.
I mean, yeah. If we consider how many points all of those crit flayers are worth that he summoned in, I believe it's like an extra
600 points,
700 something points by now.
Yeah.
I think they're 160, 180 per unit.
Let's assume it's war. Yeah. So they're about 700 points, right? Which means that plus the 250 that you get from having the comp, You're about 1,000 points up at this point, Nick.
Yeah. In addition to what's been taken off the board. Yeah, Crit Flay is 180 per. So 720 extra points off these summons.
It's pretty good.
All for 1 CP. Well, sorry. 2 CP in the first round, 1 CP in this round.
Yeah. And then 250 extra points on top of that. So 970 points
Okay.
Nick has got over your standard 2,000 point army here.
So we've seen the Terrorgeist actually go into the Harridan and Banshee unit, as opposed to swinging into the other side of the Grimghast.
I think one of the reasons for that is it sort of twofold here. You can completely nullify Speckle's side of the battlefield here, while still putting pressure up over that other side. Because what you've got to remember is this is probably dead this turn, which means this can fly over next turn, and the Gargant will chew through those, if not get chewed through.
He will do a good number, and because of only the 3-inch pile-in, and they're in, that long conga line, they're not going to get to do their full whack of attacks here, not even by a long shot. Meanwhile, everything else is being held up at the back, can't come and help them. That is a 11-inch.
Jeez, he's just made every charge that he's needed to.
It certainly makes up for last turn, doesn't it? And of course, then you've just got the ghouls in the back, just sitting on the point.
Oh my word! Like literally, he's just gone into everything this turn. Made every 9-inch charge, or both the 9-inch charges that he needed. Positioned himself around the Grimghasts and charged in that side. Got the Terrorgeist into both the Harridans and the Maimorns.
It'll be interesting to see what he uses the Feast Day activation on. I don't know if it's worth using it on the Terrorgeist here for 8 Maimorns and 10 Harridans, or if it's worth using them on... I don't actually know if they're going to be in range to use it on those flayers over there, to be honest.
I wouldn't even use it there. Do you know what I would do?
What?
I would kill the Black Coach and Feast Day, pile into Kurdos.
You think that's 3 inches in activation?
Do you have to be within 3 inches to activate Feast Day? I don't think you do. I think you can... Oh, maybe because he didn't make a charge this turn, he won't be able to do that.
You immediately make a pile-in and then attack.
Yeah, so you don't have to be within 3. So as long as you're within 4... In fact, your Maws are 3-inch range, isn't it?
Yeah.
So as long as you're within 6, you're okay. So I think what you can do is you can kill this, Feast Day into Kurdos, and kill Kurdos.
He can still pile in the 3 around that on his actual activation.
So he's got the movement.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely got the movement. And in fact, you would do, because then you get further over this side of the table, which is where you want to be with everything else. What you do have to be careful of is the Harridans maybe popping up here or here and taking an objective cheekily off you. In Speckle's turn 2. But I think the damage that Nick is going to be able to put out this turn is going to far outweigh the risk of those Harridans coming in and ruining his day by taking some objectives off him.
It's all going to come in as well to these extra secondary objectives, because if those Harridans come in and they take Mr. Big Og down, he gets 5 points. If they then don't kill that Terrorgeist, they get another 5 points. So that's still a big 10-point swing we can potentially see.
Yeah, definitely is. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah. It is certainly a weird one.
Ah, now I can hear you. I wondered what was happening.
No.
You just started... It was like you were fading away into the distance on me.
No, it's certainly different, but of course, if he doesn't kill everything, he gives him 3 VPs anyway, because his battle strategy is...
Beastmaster.
Beastmaster. That's the one I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's going to get victory points regardless.
Sorry, that's... 18 mortal wounds.
Is that the old triple
on the draw?
On the what? What was it on?
On the Harridans. It's not where you want it, is it?
I mean, it's a unit of 10, so it's good to just pop them now.
Not a single one was passed.
No. But if he wants to... I mean, he has done the extra attacks into the Maimon, because the Maimons are also gone. So it must have just been the Fang Maw into that unit.
There's one Maimon left.
Yeah.
But it's going to die to those horrors.
You don't need to second activate that now.
No.
No, you let them finish that.
I think I still think you feast A where I said. Get rid of your command point being lost, because that happens every turn. And if you can get some more CP for charges or +1 to hit or +1 to saves, you crack on, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, now I'm in firm agreement. That was absolutely brutal.
I think with the 2 units of Flayers going in as well, and because of how squishy the Harridans are, I say squishy, they're on a 4 ethereal save, but because of that, I think you have the ability to... You had the ability, regardless of whether you spike your dice there or not, to be able to go through them enough to be a pain in the bum.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely... I think the Feast Day is probably better used over the top side of the map. It's just a shame you can't use it on the Mega Gargant.
Yeah. It is a big shame. If he gained the keyword of whatever army he was in, auto take every single time, that would be absolutely terrifying.
Well, in fact, he would have Feast Day. He'd have a death save.
So I think this is the Black Coach going into the Terrorgeist at the moment?
I think I heard the words, oh, you've already gone through half. Should we have a cheeky look at that close-up view of, oh, look, the Nighthaunt are dead.
Still, they're quite old models on those Flayers, but you can see via all the shading and the fading on the backs of those Flayers.
Yeah. Really
nice job. Really nice.
This is what it's looking a little bit better from Nick's deployment point of view. It's looking pretty standard, to be honest with you. You know, you've pushed apart your deployment zone. You've got plenty of time to be there.
Got a nice wall in front of your Broken Gore Kings. Obviously, the Nighthaunt can fly over the unit anyway and tag multiple things in.
Yep.
Doesn't really matter. I mean, the Abhorrent Archregents have done their job at this point. They summoned in. They might, at some point, get close enough to start giving their spells out again, but...
Do they need it at this point?
Do they need it at this point is a good question.
You've managed to put yourself in an advantageous position where you are pinning all of Speckle's army, literally all of it, except the General and Orlinda. Yeah, no, you've even pegged Orlinda, actually.
Yeah, I think she'll probably be...
I think she's...
After a pile-in, she'll be within 3.
Yeah. I think it's unfortunate for Speckles that Nick got that double turn, but...
massively.
Yeah. I mean, you still, as you said before, can't write him off. He's still got 20 Harridans in the grave.
Yep.
Ready to rise up.
As long as they kill that Mega Gargant, and then kill nothing else, 10 points to him. And that can easily make up if he's stable turn 3. 10 points is easily what you could have got turn 4 and 5.
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting to see exactly if Feast Day is even used. If Simon's got the command points to do it, I think he does have 1 CP sat there waiting.
It's free.
Oh, it's free because of,
It's free. There's no reason not to use it. Unless he physically can't for some reason.
Well, I don't think the Black Coach is a monster.
Not to my knowledge. I believe the only monster Nighthaunt actually have is an allied Mega Gargant or the Mourngul. Which, the days of the multiple Mourngul list are gone.
Orlinda making herself a monster.
You are not wrong.
With a garish spell.
There will be one day where it all lines up and that will be the perfect counter to win the game.
That'll be the one play that you need. You just need the Roar.
No, it's the Smash Terrain, mate.
It's the Titanic Duel. You just need that Titanic Duel to be able to go off. Yeah, okay, so there's obviously going to be hole 1, hole 2, hole more here again for Nick, along with aggressive expansion being scored. So there's going to be a nice solid 3 points there. I don't know, in fact, give me half a tick.
Orlinda has been tagged in. She is within that 3-inch. Are we going with Drog here? Yeah, we're going with Drog, I think. So again, Drog is capable of putting out quite a fair bit of power. And just let me bring up the old Grimghast Nighthaunt. I think they have a 4-up save. Yes, the Grimghasts do have a 4-up save, and there is 20 of them in that unit. So, while he can put out that big lot of damage, 50% chance to ignore it. And then, of course, they've got their 6-up ward after for any that do go through.
So yeah, as depicted, the Harridans there that were off the board were not
The Predator.
predators.
Yep.
The ones in the box are.
Yeah. I think that makes obvious sense of not giving up extra points when you don't have to.
Yeah, but obviously the Grimghasts here that are in the center of the battlefield going into Dr. Og. Oh, so we've got 2 dead so far. They've got Shade Mist on them, so they're -1 to a wound.
Okay, -1 to be wounded.
Yeah.
That's quite big, so that'll make him, unless they've all-out attacked him, that'll make him 4s and 4s with his main Fort Crusher flail. Of which I think he still has 10 attacks. I can't quite see how many wounds that Mr. Og has taken.
Looks like a 5 to me.
So yeah, he isn't bracketed yet. So he's got his max attacks on the flail, which is an easy potential 30 damage out of him.
Yeah, could kill them all in one sweep.
So I mean, on average, he's got 10. Maybe 2 should not be saved for a total of 6 dead. So he won't go through the whole unit this turn.
And that was it. That's all he's done.
Did he not do mortal wounds on the way in?
He didn't do it. No. They tanked whatever he did, I believe.
6, 12. Yes, 16. He's killed 4. So yeah, there's that 4-up unrendable save coming in handy. And yeah, obviously the minus to wound.
Yeah.
The minus to wound really, really good against Gargants. Because they're hitting on 3s or they're always hitting on 3s or 4s. But their wound values are usually 3s. Taking that down to a 4 is big.
Yeah, oh, it's huge. It's massive. Some would say it is too good.
Nah, it's fine.
No, not with the rest of the army. Not with the rest of the army.
I mean, with the new book, who knows?
Yeah. I think we're probably waiting for the feast day off to the left-hand side until we are ready to go. I mean, you could always feast day on the right just to get more positioning, because you get the 3-inch pile in, don't you?
Yeah, certainly.
But you have to do it directly after you attack.
You have to do it directly after you fought for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he can't go back and do it with that dragon. He could do it with the flayers.
Yep.
That are next to him. Kill that Myamorn and then potentially pile into the
Dreadblade Harrow?
The Dreadblade.
Is it Dreadblade Harrow? Is that what it's called?
No, it's the Night of Shrouds.
Night Shrouds. Oh, yeah. There you go.
It's a ghost on a horse.
Nay, surely not.
So it looks like another one has been taken off, so that unit of flayers may not be around much longer.
Yeah, but they're 3 points. You don't really care, I don't think.
Yeah, but you want to make sure that you do want to make sure that Banshee unit's taken off before Alinda starts healing across the board.
Uh-huh.
And potentially, if the Black Coach survives, powers up, makes its way across the board, and starts repopulating.
Yeah,
it's unlikely.
I don't think that's happening, mate. Oh, Banshee dead. Yeah. Solid.
Linda piling into the flayers.
Yeah, you might as well drag this bit out as long as you can.
Yeah, do what damage you can before they activate.
Yeah. So 7 attacks here from Linda, because... Oh, she's a 3s and 3s kind of lady. She's a Warhammer Age of Sigmar kind of lady. I like to think 3s and 3s are just Age of Sigmar through and through.
Stormcast in it. 3s and 3s -2 D3 damage, 3 attacks.
Yeah,
and then 6 at 4s and 4s.
Yeah, but the 6s on the 6 damage do mortal wounds to hit.
Yeah.
Draws 6 to hit, sorry, it does a mortal wound.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice. Oh.
And, well, she's certainly done a good number on
She
this.
just slapped 2 of them down, which is pretty solid.
Right? She bonked them. She bonked him with her staff.
And then it's the Terrorgeist. How many mortal wounds?
6.
Yep, that is a cheeky dead.
Dead Black Coach.
Yep.
Now, will he use the feast day at this point to get that pile in and go on to Kurdos?
You've got to, right? Surely, it's free.
Topical.
He didn't feast day.
Can't think of what else he's waiting to use on, unless he hasn't activated the bottom group of Flayers. He's not in range to use it with anything there.
Interesting. Okay.
Do kind of wonder why.
Doesn't feel Kurdos is a threat. Wants to get rid of these. They're Dread Blades, right?
Which one?
They're into the Flayers at the bottom. Sorry.
They're Hex Wraith.
Oh, maybe he wants to just get rid of the Hex Wraiths.
I mean, I don't think anyone's within 12 to issue that command to them.
They have an elite in the unit.
No, they don't. They do not. They are not an elite. They're an old book. They don't have the champion keyword.
They don't
to issue it to themselves.
Yeah, Crypt Infernal. This is the leader of the unit. They FAQ'd it so that they could do it.
They did.
Yeah.
When did they FAQ this?
Ages ago. I'm pretty sure.
You sure? Because they.
Oh, what is this website now? Garbage. Where is it? Does it say unit leader or does it say champion?
It says champion.
In
of
the,
which
in
all the new battle tomes have champion
in
as a keyword.
In the GHB?
I believe so.
You've got it just to your
Do I?
right there. Have a cheeky look at that. So it'll be issuing commands.
Crikey.
Yeah, mental, right? So they're just going through the battle shock phase.
Well, so those flyers have gone already. We just didn't. Maybe we did use Feast Day immediately on the Terrorgeist to wipe out both of those units.
That's
and we
probably
just
what
missed
happened. Yeah, they probably just missed saying that. I apologise, chat. Okay, sorry, I'm just having a cheeky look through because there's using command abilities from earlier battle tomes.
Unit champions, and champion is a keyword because all the new books have champions.
Yeah, but there's a specific thing in the FAQ about using them from old books. Mostly older. In addition, older distance. You alright, Speckles? Anyway, so yeah, that was a pretty solid turn 2 there for Nick, indeed. Hold 1, hold 2, hold more. Getting a nice 5 points, taking him to 11 plays 5 with a turn in hand there for Speckles.
No, really good turn. I mean, just look at what's left on the battlefield, you know. Here's where we're going to start seeing the Harridans come out the grave. Or out from the underworld, sorry.
Yeah.
They're going to start trying to threaten the back line of the Ghouls. Although the Abhorrent Archregent is no slouch in combat. Especially if he does manage to get himself the D3 extra attacks. But you got to be a tiny bit worried for the Nighthaunt here. Kurdos will probably, I imagine, charge into that Terrorgeist.
Yeah.
I mean, the Terrorgeist has taken some wounds from that Black Coach. Will Kurdos be able to just completely finish the job?
I thought they FAQ'd it. They did not. Maybe it was just my brain saying logically you should be allowed to do it.
I am in full well in agreement. Logically, they should be able to do it, but rules lawyering, no.
Now, I'm sorry.
When
if
Mr. Tom is done, maybe we can ask Mr. Rules himself.
if you have to be that player, you shouldn't be playing a war game. I'm sorry.
We'll ask Mr. Rules Man Thomas when he's done with his game. I'm honestly shocked that he hasn't finished already.
Yeah, what is going on?
He's still rolling dice.
Oh no, there you go. He's just gone to the score sheet.
Say it and it will be done.
In fact, I'm just going to send him a message now saying, "How have you not finished your game?"
Right, so just to show kind of what Kurdos can do, there's his War Scroll. So he does have 5 attacks at 3s and 3s, obviously. He could do something like, he could Finest Hour for +1 to wound. Doesn't get the +1 to save because he's a ghost. And then, of course, he can give himself all-out attack for 2s. 2s and 2s at -2 rend on a Terrorgeist. Solid.
On 5 attacks, that's really good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, D3 damage, so unreliable.
Yeah.
But if he gets an unmodified wound roll with that, he does D6 instead of D3.
Even more unreliable.
Yeah. But it's got that potential.
Yeah.
And if it is the general, you get to reroll failed hit rolls. I don't think the general is no, the general's one of the Archregents at the back. Other than that, he's got your basic Nighthaunt, diddly friends that are going to come along and mortal wound you on 6s. So he can do a good amount of damage. It's very doable if he wants to. I mean, what else is Kurdos going to do? He's in a position where he's got no other choice, essentially.
Savage Spearhead is a solid one. You just pop them up straight into Nick's deployment zone here for Speckles. So he'll hold 1. He maybe holds 2 if he's clever.
Yeah, he can summon the Harridans at the back, come in, kill those ghouls if he gets the 9-inch charge.
Yeah, because what you got to remember as well is the deployment is like here, isn't it?
Oh yeah, he already controls the middle one.
Yeah, but for his battle tactic, I'm thinking if he can get the Harridans in here, charge them in here, whilst wholly staying in the opponent's objectives, half, he can do the same here.
Yeah.
Get Spearhead, get 2 for hold 1, hold 2, hold more.
Yeah. No, it's very manageable for him.
Pretty much makes sense. Night Shroud on the Steed is lovely and reliable. 3s and 3s, -1, 2.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's the other one on the horse that lets you teleport units about, the Dreadblade.
Pass me the GHB for a sec. Yes. Tom seems to be under the impression, Mr. Rules himself, under the impression they can issue a command themselves.
I mean, I'll trust Tom over anything I can think of.
Naturally the same.
Let's say, I was under the assumption that without the champion keyword, because it's there and then it's 22.3 in the main rulebook.
22.3.
Something like that. In fact, I've got it up like right here. There you go.
22.3. That's command models.
Yeah, it tells you to refer to this.
Oh, does it?
We got the small book, we got the big book.
What are you doing?
Just having a look at the chat.
Cool. That mouse controls the computer.
Yeah, it controls everything.
Not this. Not this. This is a laptop.
There's too many screens. too many screens.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 screens plus our phones back here, chat. So in a total of 8 screens in front of us to be able to bring you the best mediocre coverage that has its day 1 stream. Okay, so we're healing. I think they're looking at Alinda's just done some spells. They're looking at trying to bring back some more models with the Night Shrouds. The Guardian of Souls. Straight into the movement phase here for Speckles. This is the one where he must remember to bring his stuff back.
Yeah, so it's Lady Linda's command ability right now. Each summonable unit gains 1 model back.
Nice.
So it'll be 1 Hexwraith and 1 Grimghast right now. Of course, the Hexwraiths are the ablative wounds for her, so it's free. It's a free 2-wound heal, essentially.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you can take it, right?
Oh yeah, what else are you going to use your 4 command points for? As I say, Nighthaunt unfortunately don't have a very good efficiency with command points currently, just because they can't use half of the stuff. Of course, potentially in their new book, that could all change. We're seeing them just advance into the middle of the board here. I assume that they're probably going to try and regroup and try and travel in a little blob, essentially, and try and take out some stuff.
The agreement is, rules as written, you can't do it. Rules as intended, you should.
Yes. That is
And
my
if
firm agreement.
If anybody is playing like that, you get in the bin. Because, I'm sorry, you're playing Flesh Eater Courts. If your opponent is like, well, you can't do it, I'm like, mate, I'm playing Feck. Leave me alone. I've already taken a handicap.
I mean, he's playing Nighthaunt, so...
Well, yeah, he probably needs everything that he can get at this point.
No, I'm playing a worse army. You've got a ranking of armies where you can argue this, and you're playing Stormcast against the Feck. Nah, you're playing Feck against the Gloomspite Gits. They might be able to argue.
Yeah, it's just a tiering system.
The worse your army is, the more you can just about wiggle those rules about for your benefit.
Yeah, the more leeway you get to be able to just play what game you want and not anything else.
I get 2 heroic actions. Why?
Well,
Gloomspite, mate.
Yeah. My battle plan says so. What do you mean? Well, look, and then you pull out your GHB or your battle tome, and you've just written it in.
I get to shoot in the hero phase. Why? Oh, I'm Stormcast, mate.
Because why not?
Because why not? Everyone could use some more double shooting. Alright, so we have seen the Harridans have started to be deployed at the back of the table.
Yeah. So the Harridans now. One there. I think they're going to try and make that cheeky charge in to claim that objective.
Though I don't know if they had just measured it. Yeah. I think the conga line of ghouls has stopped the 9 inches being able to deploy the full unit. At that point.
Really?
Yeah, because you've got a little ghoul behind that wall. And 9 inches from both of them to be able to fit in the whole 10-man unit. I don't know if it was possible.
Beckles needs to be careful here because he's also got Savage, remember? What else has he got off the table? Has he got anything else off the table?
Just 2 units of the Harridans, to my
Is that
knowledge.
it?
To my knowledge, yeah.
Wrong list, Ben.
Yes, just them. Everything else has been killed. Or, actually, the Krulgast. Or is that the, No, that is the guy in the middle there.
Yeah, right in the center of the battlefield. Right in the center of the battlefield.
So this is a bit of a shame that he couldn't just instantly bring them out. Though he's got the Krulgast, I think, is in the overall half of that field.
Let's have a look from the top down. Just. I think just. So we're going straight into the shooting phase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the Krulgast is in there, but if we're going into the movement phase, I don't see what else is currently in his deployment.
I'm going to go and have a look at the table. I'm going to have a physical look, because whilst we can see a lot of things from the top down, we can't see everything. So how many turns do you think it's going to take for these Grimghasts to either die or get through the Gargant, and which way is it going to be?
I think they will get through the Gargant. The Gargant is hampered by the fact that they've got as we said before, the 4-up unrendable, which does cancel out half of his damage. Then you've also got if he's got Shade Mist off again, Got that going on. And outwards of that, you can keep repopulating the Grimghast every turn. You've got the minuses coming out from the Corpse Cart. You've got plus attacks coming out from the Knight of Shroud on Ethereal Steed, just further outing their damage. But at that point, don't forget that it kind of wants his stuff to die as well for the secondary objectives. But let's not forget as well, the main objective of the Nighthaunt is simply to kill that Mega Gargant. So I think it's going to take this turn and maybe next turn to chew through it. If they spike the rolls, I think it's possible this turn. Especially since most of those Grimghast are now, starting to get circling around, and they've got their 2-inch range, of course. And can't quite remember off the top of my head what the Crawlghast does, but I'm sure he gives them something as well.
So Speckles couldn't actually place his units down, his dread size, where he wanted them, as we said.
Yeah.
Because of the perfect screening that Nick had done.
Yep.
So what he's decided to do is just keep them up for another turn.
And he still could get in there through charges and pile-ins.
Yeah.
It's going to be very, very hard to do.
I mean, he's charged the king, Kurdos,
Yep.
bottom left.
Well, that quite matches into it.
No, I think he's just out. Right, let's just...
No, he's over it. He's over it. Because the center circle of that objective marks the border.
Yep, he is over it.
As long as Kurdos doesn't die, he's got it. And don't forget, you can use Feast Day in your opponent's turn as well.
Yeah. It's just as soon as it's fought.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be surprised in seeing a double fighting Terrorgeist here.
Yeah, without doubt.
Grim. But, if you can't deploy them down, it's definitely a thing that Speckles has to do.
So, getting back to it, I wanted to see what the Crawlghast did.
Sorry, man. Yes. Is it a whole lot of nothing or a whole lot of something?
I remember him being I know in the new book he's incredible.
Yeah.
If any wounds inflicted by this model's missile weapon are done to the enemy not negated, the model becomes empowered until your next shooting phase. And you're... Okay. So if he does a wound with his missile attack, you get a 5-up ward instead of a 6-up around you.
It's really good.
Yeah. I believe in the new Nighthaunt book, it's -1 damage.
Even better.
You'd think they might have learnt from Thunder Lizard, eh?
No.
At least this is more conditional.
Everything is going to get -1 damage.
At least this is more conditional, although...
Does it say to a minimum of 1 in the new book, do you think?
Yeah, obviously.
You say obviously.
I mean, at that point, if you're arguing that it goes down to 0, I'm not playing you. It's more conditional, but he can be bodyguarded in the new tome as well.
Of course.
So, yeah. So, yeah. Right now, he's giving out... I assume that he got a missile attack off at least. He'll be giving out that 5-up, so...
Does it have to go through?
Yeah, it just has to cause damage, but he's got 4 shots on it at 3s and 3s -2 on a Mega Gargant, so it'll have a 6-up.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's a question. I think the Grimghast will eventually grind that Gargant down.
Yep.
And of course, he's not worth the extra VPs because he's Dr. Rock.
Of course, naturally. Why would it be any different?
I mean, I don't entirely disagree with it. So, my point on the Mega Gargants is no.
I like the Mega Gargants. It's £120 for a model. But did that go up in price, actually?
Don't think so. Right, we can see Alinda has bonked the final flyer.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we see Alinda go through them, and then
I believe Alinda just has gone through them.
I reckon Kurdos is dead.
Unless that might have been the Hex Rays doing it, and then Alinda might pile in and then take out the next unit.
If she's within 3, because she didn't make a charge this turn, I don't think.
They piled in away from her, so
Yeah.
I assume it's maybe Alinda then.
Farewell. Fair play. Nick has done really well on screening out and positioning himself quite nicely. Speckles has tried to react as best he can. Unfortunately, the power of the bedsheet was not quite enough to deal with the power of the delusional knights.
Yeah. Once again, for anyone that's only tuned in halfway through, this is being played with the old Nighthaunt book. So, the one that's not great.
Yeah. It's the Feast Day Court of Illusion. Anytime you use Feast Day, you don't have to spend a CP for it.
Yeah.
Nice.
But obviously, you can only use it once per combat phase anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the question was more, is it in your turn you don't have to spend
It is in
a CP?
both turns.
No, I know you can use it both turns, but is the wording in your turn?
No.
Or is it just when you use?
When you use it.
You're definitely sure of that?
It's the way that I have been playing it.
Doesn't mean it's right. No offense. Doesn't.
Once per turn, so that's player turn,
Yeah.
you can use the Feeding Frenzy command ability without a command point being spent.
Perfect. Cool. I just wanted to make sure.
No.
Because there might be a cheeky little bit of minutia.
No. I mean, that's the way everyone plays. It's why it's the only good one unless you're playing a Grand Court. If you ever see anyone playing the Grand Tournament, I will give you a crisp high five and a handshake.
What is that?
Reroll hit rolls of 1 by heroes that aren't your general. Useless.
That's not that bad. Reroll's good.
Nah. Compared to what else you can get.
What else can you get?
Defenders of the Realm, reroll save rolls of 1 for Flesh Eater Court units that have half their models wholly within your territory.
Right.
At least half of them.
Okay.
Useless. Reroll hit rolls of 1 for attacks made by friendly Flesh Eater Courts that target a hero.
Yeah.
If it's their general, reroll wound rolls of 1 as well.
Alright.
Or add 1 to run and charge rolls.
And what's the hunt?
Oh, the hunt, reroll hit rolls and wound rolls of 1 for targeting a monster.
Yeah.
They're not great.
No, right. You say they're not great. What meta are we in at the moment? Monster meta.
Do I want reroll hit rolls of 1 and wound rolls of 1 compared to a free feast day? No.
But if you're into monsters, you're getting roared, which means you're not feast daying.
I wouldn't be feast day at that point. I don't even play feast day. I play Morgaunt.
Feast day is great. Being able to fight is great, right? But it's not there. It was 27, right?
I play
Perfect,
Morgaunt, so none of this matters to me.
No.
But I would still pick feast day.
I don't think you've got a leg to stand on by saying they're rubbish comparative.
No. I would still pick feast day. If I was going Delusion, I would never pick anything but feast day. I simply wouldn't.
I think you underestimate rerolls.
The problem is, Flesh Eater Courts get a lot of rerolls for being near heroes.
Did they?
Yeah.
What rerolls do they get for being in heroes? Isn't that spell conditional?
No, you get rerolls for being near abhorrents, for the most part, I believe. So, Crypt Horrors, I believe, get rerolls on hits if they're within 12 of an abhorrent. Reroll hit rolls made by attacks wholly within 18 of an abhorrent.
Oh, cool. So
that's your Ghoul Kings, your abhorrent Ghoul Kings on
Yeah.
Terrorgeist, your Archregents.
But what about them themselves?
What, the
Terrorgeists?
The Terrorgeists?
Apart from the one that has Gruesome Maw, is there any way to get rerolls on them?
Nah.
Which is why I think the reroll option in the court is actually surprisingly efficient.
Nah, too conditional. I don't like it.
What do you mean conditional?
Too conditional. You either pick the one that goes on heroes or you pick the one that goes on monsters.
There was an option to do one that didn't do either of those. Wasn't there?
Oh, crikey. Crikey, you're making me crack the books out.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, we're having conversations.
Target a monster,
Well, hang
target
on.
a hero.
+1 to run and charge is actually really good. Because it means you can summon up and then only have an 8-inch charge. Which is way better. An 8 on versus a 9 on 2d6. There's so many more possibilities. Feast Day is obviously great. We've done that. Reroll hit rolls and wound rolls for monsters. Great in the current meta. Reroll hit rolls for a hero. Okay, not amazing. Reroll hit rolls by other friendly heroes by your general. If you're going like a hero heavy list with the zombie dragons and stuff,
I don't like it.
then you get the rerolls of 1 on them, which is nice.
I don't like it.
And then save rolls of 1 in your realm, that is garbage. But I think the rerolls, I think any of the reroll ones, obviously the less conditional ones are better. I actually think Grand Tournament has potential play.
No. I simply don't. Should we go to the list
Cool.
and see
You
how
know
many
at
of
the
them are
start
using
when I said
Grand
about
Tournament?
dismissing stuff is just not what should happen.
You know that one where I went to the list to see how many people were using
Yeah.
net guns?
Yeah.
Let's see how
Yeah.
many people are using Feast Day.
2.
So 2 are unaligned.
No, 1.
1 is Gristlegore, so they can't have it anyway.
No, 1 is using Feast Day.
Okay. Are the rest all Gristlegore?
Sorry, Flash. Oh my god. So we've got a Gristlegore, a Delusion, and a Gristlegore. So 2 Gristlegores and a thingy.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, almost everyone runs Blister Skin or Feast Day. So, Gristlegore had its moment in the sun, and then starting to go, maybe starting to come back a little bit due to all the Hunters of the Heartlands, because they can, of course, fight immediately as they charge. And they can be put in the Hunters of the Heartland battalion while they're in Gristlegore, because they're battle line.
I think that's a Timber.
Yep. As I said, I wouldn't have been surprised if they took that down. So they've got their bonus 5 points for completing their extra tactic now. So obviously we won't see this update on the score because it's not in the app.
Sorry, this is 3 mortals on the Terrorgeist to kill him. You just... Okay, so this is actually huge for Speckles. The Gargant fell over onto this Terrorgeist and killed it as it fell over. Kurdos is dead.
But the Terrorgeist will now explode on the ghouls as well.
Yeah.
Could
it kill a couple ghouls
Kurdos did, I guess, the amount of damage needed to help.
before he died.
It means he doesn't get his battle tactic, but he has got his secondary objective for this tournament.
Yeah. Actually. Oh no, it's a dice. I thought this was a model.
So, where does this leave Fleshy, of course? They have now lost their heavy hitters.
Huge.
They have obviously their 1 guy left, and they've got the 2 abhorrent guys left. Whereas we've still got another unit of Harridans to come out here.
2 units of Harridans. He's not brought either of them.
They didn't bring either out.
Nope.
In which case, I think this has suddenly just swung into the Nighthaunt's favour.
It is definitely interesting, and there's 2 Apex kills because 2 Apex kills?
The Grimghost Reapers did kill the
Gargant, but then the
Gargant.
Gargant, which is an Apex character, killed killed the Terrorgeist.
Let's see how this is worded. Each enemy predator that was destroyed by a friendly predator. So no, he doesn't score himself a point for toppling over on his Terrorgeist.
Why has he got 3 Apex kill points then? Okay, so Nick gets the choice of priority here. Speckles dropped to 5 on priority. Nick gets the choice of turn if he wants it. Do I go and ask him why there's 3 Apex kills?
Do you think maybe they're counting it as a Mega Gargant and Nighthaunt getting extra points?
Potentially, I'll be right back.
So yeah, that was a massive turn for the Nighthaunt there. Coming back from what looked to be a absolutely crushing second turn on them. That Mega Gargant falling on that Terrorgeist, then exploding on the ghouls caused a beautiful chain reaction of death. Yeah, this is starting to look suddenly a bit more shaky for Flesh Eater Courts, they've used up all of their summons bringing in those Flayers to harass the backlines. Even if those Flayers get that Hexray dead, they kill a Linda, they've still got that big block of Grimghast left. It's going to be interesting. I think a lot of it will depend on who gets the priority going into this turn. Because while the Abhorrents aren't bad in combat, if the Nighthaunt get this turn and get into those Abhorrents while they're not buffed up with all the extra attacks and such they can get, and the burning weapons and stuff, it's going to be dangerous for them because they're not the most tanky of units. And of course, ghouls are terrible, terrible things. They will fall over to a stiff breeze. I'd imagine even the Corpse Cart could run in and take that unit of screen out. Even before we talk about the Cruel Gas shooting into them, the lighter Shrouds going into them. Meanwhile, we got that one Terrorgeist who appears to have taken probably about... I can't exactly see what the dice... It kind of looks like a 5 to me from here. That can, of course, go in and maybe try and get fish for the 18 mortal wounds on those Grimghasts, at which point that would be maybe another swing back to the Flesh Eater Courts.
And I've been given all the painting nominations by Alex as well.
Okay. Well,
but I'm not going to talk about that yet.
You've taken away an Apex kill.
Yes.
They counted it as him killing it.
Yes.
Even though it was the Mega Gargant that killed it. Okay. That's very honourable.
Because it was the action of the Nighthaunt that triggered the reaction of Timber.
Okay.
That's the logic that they've gone with. Which is the thing is,
you know what? Fine.
If both players agree, then that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Fine with me.
And that's okay.
Fine with me.
I think it's very much a case of if both players agree on a thing, then that should be the thing that happens.
Yeah. Do you know who got the priority into turn 3?
They're trying to. Well, Nick got the priority. He won the roll. Well, drew the roll, which obviously he wins draws because he went first. They're just trying to see now, or I think Nick is trying to decide exactly what he'll do because he's trying to damage control and figure out how much Speckles can get this turn.
Yeah.
And then does Nick get more or lose more by doing that?
Yeah. So what I went with whilst you were away talking to the table was if Nighthaunt get this turn. And, I mean, what the Flesh Eater Courts can burn an objective, sure. They probably just burn the middle one. In fact, I don't know if they even do that, because if Nighthaunt get the turn, surely they can just swing up here, start killing the heroes, and then do that. They don't want to kill this anymore, because they get 5 points if this doesn't die.
He's talking about the Terrorgeist.
Yeah. They get 5 points if that Terrorgeist doesn't die.
Now,
but
Nick has taken the turn. Which means Speckles burns this. Yep, there you go. Literally, as he said, we just burnt that, which means that there's only these two to play for. Speckles will probably take Conquer next turn and get that one, I assume.
So, what do I do as Flesh Eater Courts at this point?
Yeah. Thank you.
So, what do we do as Flesh Eater Courts at this point? You want your beast to die. You get 5 VP for that dying. So I say, swing him up here, swing him into those Grimghast, take as many as you can out with you, and peacefully kill yourself. Simple. Because the ghouls might be able to handle the threat, or the ghouls in the archery regents might be able to handle the threat of like a Corpse Cart. The Corpse Cart is irrelevant in combat. It's more going to be the Knight of Shrouds, and if Alinda manages to pull or repopulate anything after this turn. So if they can manage to take out that, I mean, we've still got to consider that there's 20 Harridans to come up still. He's really got to get in and kill those Grimghast. That's my opinion.
Yeah, he's got. I mean, the Grimgrass is the thing that I think will, as we've seen quite a lot in Nighthaunt, will win or lose in the game in the sense of as long as Speckles will position them right, which he will because it is Speckles, right? As long as he positions them right, he'll be able to take out what he needs to, focus on the targets that he needs to, gets rid of what he wants, and then be able to move on with his life from there.
So this turn, he's still going to hold 1. If he moves the ghouls up and he's brave, he might get the hold 2, hold more.
Yeah.
If he's brave.
Yeah.
But if he does move, you can also redeploy those Grimghast onto the point. Potentially. Regardless, I think that Terrorgeist has to go into those Grimghast and start taking as many as he can away, whilst inflicting some damage upon himself.
Massively losing 2 of the 3 big linchpins in your army in one turn, being it turn 2 as well, is quite devastating.
I knew Kurdos had the output to nearly taking down that timber, so he would have had to lose the roll and high roll on getting the
He got
wounds.
3 mortal wounds on him, and he failed. He saved 1 on his death saves.
Yeah.
Huge. Absolutely huge.
Just goes to show, Kurdos is no slouch in combat.
I'm not entirely sure it was Kurdos that was
He
the
did enough.
the be all or end all there
He did enough.
before dying.
Yes.
Turn 1 feast day was indeed used over on the Harridans to kill them, and what's it called? There wasn't feast day used last turn because it just wasn't needed. Which makes, again, perfect sense. If you don't have to, you don't need to, right?
It's the downside of taking Mr. Og compared to another Archregent on Terrorgeist. Obviously, he can't use the command ability to make him fight twice, so you've got less targets to, go across and give yourself that across the army. I mean, meanwhile, he's
also more consistent in damage, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Maybe not against this single instance of army that ignores his rend.
Yeah.
It's
what taking a Mega Garden does gives you a decently rendered model in your army.
Oh yeah, -3.
Yeah, which is incredible, particularly in the current meta of save stacking. And it all again, except for into this, and it gives you a big distraction piece because it's a massive Gargan.
Yep. Absolutely. So we can see the ghouls, as I said, being brave and rushing forward.
Oh. Yeah.
So he's going to try and get the hold 1, hold 2, because, I mean, I guess he probably knows at this point that next turn they're coming to him regardless.
Yeah.
So take what points you can get while you can. Via the tokens next to him, I think it looks like he's probably got the plus attack spell off in the hero phase.
Yeah.
Then yeah, all the Gribblies are coming rushing forward.
Naturally, makes perfect sense.
How much are 10 ghouls going to do in combat? Nothing. Not unless you're in Morgaunt, which unfortunately he isn't. He might chip away a few wounds here and there. I mean, obviously, they've got no rend, they're damage 1. So, it doesn't really matter that they ignore their rend on that case. Although, if ghouls do manage to get their horde bonus, and the extra attacks from the Archregent, they're popping out 6-7 attacks apiece.
Yeah. I don't think it's enough to win the game on the ghouls, though. I think the Flayers and the Terrorgeist are going to have to do the heavy lifting. I know you say you want to get rid of the Terrorgeist to get your 5 points. But I also think what you need to do is you need to do it at the right time.
Yeah, you need to find that balance.
Get rid of everything else in Speckle's army, and then do it.
Yeah. Start miscasting stuff to kill yourself.
Or just cast stuff like Mystic Shield and put it on stuff that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Fish for Arcane Bolt and never use it.
That's the best one. Nice and easy. And there's just under an hour left of the round, ladies and gentlemen. Although I don't think we're probably going to need that much time in this game.
Just which corpse guy is it? The Balefire Brazier.
It's the one that gives +1 to cast, I think.
It's the plus to casting, not the -1.
believe so.
Annoyingly, it's in the Soulblight book. Yeah.
Corpse Cart.
No, it is the subtract 1.
Oh, it is -1 to cast.
No, Perils is only on
Natural.
unmodified.
Yeah.
Shame. just move next to this thing that's going to actively stop you casting. Fish for a 3.
3 and below.
That's subtract 1 from wound rolls when you're near the corpse cut. That's the other thing. So yeah.
-1 from wound rolls.
Yeah.
Wow.
In addition to Shade Mist.
-2 from wound rolls.
Well, yeah, but you can only go to 1, so it alleviates your plus to wound bonus from like Finest Hour.
Yeah. Or any spells that gives you that as well.
Or if you just fail to give it, your corpse cart's giving it you anyway.
Yeah, which is really nice. So it is only in an 8-inch range, though, which is unfortunate, but it's the way that it is.
It's not even wholly within. It's just within 9.
It's just within 9. That's huge.
That's pretty good, actually. And I think it's like 80 points, the corpse cart. Yeah, 80 points.
There you go. 80 points for a -1 to wound aura. Incredible. It now makes long strikes wound on 3s.
Yeah, I mean, combine that with the Crawlghast in the new book, giving out -1 damage.
Yeah, -1 to wound, -1 damage. Absolutely
It's not
huge.
shabby. Not shabby at all.
It'll do. That's incredible, actually. Isn't it?
It's solid.
That is a lot. Like, that you can stack on them. Buffs, different debuffs and buffs, and up buffs, down buffs, left buffs, right buffs.
Alright, Ghouls going into the Crawlghast. It's the Arch Regent that has the extra attacks, not the thing.
Yeah. He's got all those extra damage, all the extra attacks, and that sort of stuff.
And he failed the charge. That looks like a reroll.
It is pretty darn good. Which is pretty interesting to see. So,
that was a failed reroll as well.
yeah. I'm just going to ask Speckles to put his Nick's battle tactic. Actually, what's he done? He's done Broken Ranks and Aggressive Expansion. I imagine it'll be Conquer, right? And just try and retake the middle. That's why we've seen the ghouls pop up there. It's why we've seen the Arch Regents make a sort of move up if they can get a decent charge off. 3.
The Terrorgeist did not move.
I think he's still in his movement phase.
He's charging.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's charged the Crawlghast with the Ghouls.
Oh. Oops.
Yeah, neither of the 2 units down at the bottom actually moved.
Yeah, I'd have probably moved these up here, tried to do this, and like you're wasting a feast day here by not moving up, surely. Good afternoon, House Firehawk. I hope you're doing well. And good afternoon to everybody in chat. I hope you are doing absolutely splendidly. My name is Ben. I am joined by Moog here on the commentary desk. We are covering round 2 at the UK's biggest tournament this weekend, Mancunian Carnage. It is 77 players strong here. There is a specific comp detailed for this event that we ran through at the start of the stream, and we'll catch and restart that at the start of every game so people are aware of what is going on. We currently have Simon Eccles with Nighthaunt versus Nick Harding with his Flesh Eater Courts. Both of these armies are in the comp and get the extra 250 points, which is absolutely massive and huge. Simultaneously, there is a Skaven player here who won game 1. I think they lost game 2, though, unfortunately, which means we could have them on the stream next turn, which would be really good, wouldn't it? Speaking of Skaven, if you want to win some Skaven, you can get a chance to win the up for pre-order today Echoes of Doom box, available for Games Workshop. That is the Skaven and the new Sylvaneth box. It's a battle box, ! Battle box in the chat for more details, but you can get a free email entry by emailing win.thehobbyroom@gmail.com with Echoes of Doom Win in the title and your Twitch name in the body of the email address, or every £5 donated to the stream, you can get 500 entries. If by some miracle we manage to cover the cost of multiple boxes, we will give away multiple boxes. At the moment, we've not covered one yet, so that's coming out of our pocket. But yes, there you go, chat. If you want to, it's there. And we are just seeing turn 3 here. Nick does have priority, and Nick did choose to go first. They've not they've not quite done it yet. The ghouls got into the corpse cart, and he's used all that defense on the corpse cart.
I mean, I don't think the corpse cart usually has a very good save. 6 up. It's now a 5. Bear in mind, ghouls do not have rend.
No, but they have weight of attacks. Does it get a death save? No.
No, because it's an allied unit, it does not get a death save.
That is so silly.
But it does have 6 wounds, and I don't know, ghouls in a unit of 10, if you're not running the Morgaunt, they don't have enough attacks.
Yeah, quite a lot.
And it looks like he buffed up the Arch Regent, expecting to get that in, with all the plus attacks. And obviously that failed the rerolling charge.
Yeah, it did.
So that obviously has not got to where they wanted it for now.
But here are the attacks from the ghouls. Absolute bucket of attacks right here.
I believe ghouls are 4s and 4s at this point?
4s and 4s?
Yeah, ghouls are actually surprisingly proficient in combat.
You mean 3s and 4s, mate? Surely.
Are they all attacked?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, if they've all... Well, I didn't know if they had.
No, they should do. Surely they should do.
So, ghouls, 3s and 4s at the moment, because they have... they don't have their Horde bonus, they've got +1 attack on the leader, and they can reroll hit rolls of 1 because they're near an abhorrent.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Yeah. So, they'll have 21 attacks.
Yep.
21 attacks, rerolling 1s. It should be... So chance of killing that corpse cart.
It looks like it saved 2 of the dice. And hasn't killed it, but has wounded it. Maimed it, more like. Or maybe they were into the Curator, sorry.
Into the Crawlgeist.
Yeah. The spiny boy. And there is 3 wounds there onto the corpse cart. Oh no. Sorry, he did nothing into the corpse cart. Wow. Well, really good use of all that defense there.
4 ghouls. Probably somewhere.
Probably.
Midsummer.
There is less than an hour of the round.
50 minutes left. Just over 50 minutes. Okay, so we're going to see... Yep. So we're going to see... Now we've got... I'm really surprised that Nick didn't actually use the Terrorgeist and didn't move it anywhere. Yeah, I'm really surprised that Nick didn't manage to get over there with the Terrorgeist for a start. But simultaneously, the Flayers didn't move either. Anyhow. Chat, I hope you're doing well. I've been left alone. Moog has disappeared off to the little boy's room. Not that you need to know that, but you did anyway. How is everybody doing? I hope you're all having a wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining us here over at the Hobby Room. And if you're watching back on a VOD, welcome on in. I hope you're enjoying your free viewing experience. Hope you've got a nice warm cup of tea or a cozy hot chocolate and you're sat watching exactly what's going on, because that'd be really nice. Cool. So we've got some more attacks going here, and there is an update there from Nick. Thank you very much. It was Slay the Warlord was the selected battle tactic from Nick into the Knight of Shrouds, which didn't happen. Because the Warlord, or the General, sorry, is the Knight of Shrouds. So why didn't it happen? Why did they... Interesting. Wow, okay. Well, that's huge. Oh, the corpse cart is now going into combat. What an absolute beast this thing is in combat. 4s and 4s. Absolutely nothing. Oh, Speckles. Corpse Cart managed to get one attack through. Which kills a ghoul. The Corpse Cart managed to kill a ghoul.
Well, fucking.
It is what it is.
Don't imagine the.
But with only one Terrorgeist left, and then forgetting to move a Terrorgeist in your movement phase is absolutely terrible here for Nick.
Did they say they actually forgot?
I think he did, because he chose Slay the Warlord as his battle tactic. And the Knight of Shrouds, which is now in the center of the screen, is the Warlord.
Ah. Well, that is certainly something else.
That is mighty interesting.
Yeah, that's a fairly
That's
fairly costly mistake.
Yeah, maybe he's just in shock at the sheer amount of damage that went through to his army last turn.
No, that is
Costly.
There's no other way to say it. That is absolutely tragic. Oof.
Yeah, that's an oof moment right there.
Yeah. Simply not much else to say, is there? That was 2 units that didn't move. Big units at that.
Three. The little ghouls didn't move.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, the ghouls.
In the top
Oh,
right.
yeah, because the objective isn't there anymore, of course.
Correct.
The top right and the bottom ones.
Yeah.
They've got no reason being there anymore,
Nope.
apart from blocking off summoning space.
Yep. Screening for the objective might be a good shout.
I mean, they there's not enough space. They can come on behind that rock, or diagonally.
Yeah, both players have decided to take a small moment of respite to go to the bar, I believe. Give me one split sec.
So,
What makes Grimgas so good?
in the meantime, what makes Grimgas good? What makes Grimgas good? Well, we just saw what they did to the Mega Gargant last turn, but we can certainly bring up their profile again. So just bring it up here. So they are hitting on 4s and 3s, obviously with all-out attack. They'd be hitting on 3s and 3s. 2 attacks apiece, but obviously with the Knight of Shrouds there, they would be upping that to 3 attacks at 3s and 3s minus 1/1. Obviously, just with sheer weight of attacks from that unit, then I think they had 16 left at that point, and with the 2-inch range, they could certainly have got the large majority of that unit in. So on average, I mean, we saw what they did; they absolutely shredded him. And that was over 2 turns as well.
So that wasn't a forgetful move on a
Yeah.
Terrorgeist. That was a conscious not move because he
Okay.
didn't want to give him a redeploy possibility.
Yep.
He didn't want him to roll the 6 and then get a 9. And I was said to him, "Oh, you could have always ran the ghouls around the back of it and maybe stopped him, or gone with the crit flayers and on the top left and done the same thing." And he's like, "Yeah, but there's just too much stuff at the time in the way for him to be able to do anything."
I mean, I was personally thinking when it happened, I was thinking he'd already moved the ghouls down here. That had already been done. So at that point, they chose not to redeploy. The only way that this is going backward, it could have, of course, hopped over the corpse cart because it's got the flying movement.
Yeah.
If he did come in there, but what was the? I mean, you could just go 9.1 inches away just so he didn't get the chance to redeploy and risk that 9-inch charge. Alternately, he could have bought the flayers round this side so that he had to redeploy there if needed. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if it pays off because depending on how many wounds are left on that Terrorgeist there, I'd imagine that we might just see the 20 bomb of Harridan's come in there.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's still got that to do and still got the possibility to be able to ruin people's day.
Yeah.
With Harridan's for over.
Yeah. I mean, of course, the Nighthaunt have the choice to make. Do they want to deny the grand strategy and give them the secondary objective here?
Yeah.
Or do they want to get that extra point from the 1 VP there?
Yeah.
It's a tough choice, but I would also imagine that there's play in just bringing the Harridans here, bringing the Harridans maybe even here, and just trying to get them round into that objective and sitting there.
Potentially. Right,
Then-
let's have a cheeky... Oh, sorry.
I was going to
Sorry.
say, then you don't risk the chance of the Terrorgeist getting an extra point or two for killing them.
Yeah, potentially. Whilst the players are just going to get to the bar and get back themselves, this is one of 2 Nighthaunt lists that we've got here today. One is Speckles running this, and the other one is Dan from the Warrior Lodge, who usually runs the Warrior Lodge tournaments, who's running Nagash, Spirit Host, plenty spam, and Hex Wraiths as well.
Classic.
Yeah, pretty classic game, pretty simple game.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty interesting. And there's only 2 factions not represented here today, and that's Caradron Overlords and Lumineth Realm Lords.
The less said, the better.
Very much so. Okay, so we have got some players back at some table with some adult beverages in their hands, ready to keep themselves nice and hydrated.
So going into turn 3.5.
Yes, it will be turn 3.5.
Turn 3.5, Nighthaunt's turn.
Yep.
What do you think they pick here in terms of objective?
Broken ranks on those 3 goals.
Certainly.
I'm just going to go and...
Is it only 3 left
yeah.
after that? Crikey. Yeah. Broken ranks on those 3 goals is a absolutely fair shout. They could also go with the aggressive expansion. Just swing the Grimghast Reapers into this unit of ghouls here. Because the unit is over 5 models strong, they will get the reroll hit rolls of 1 there as well. So if they do get an all-out attack command, they'll be hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. And that amount of that amount of Grimghast Reapers should absolutely decimate that amount of ghouls. Not forgetting as well that we've got the option of bringing in the Harridans elsewhere as well. So there's a few battle tactics that could be quite easy to sort out this turn for the Nighthaunt.
House Firehawk, you have not really missed anything nerfing the Lumineth. I just think people saw the opportunity that would maybe play Lumineth usually with the extra 250 points and decided, you know what, we'll take those 250 points and we'll play an army I don't usually play.
It's a great way for elves to improve themselves. So the extra rule pack here that did hit Lumineth a tiny weeny bit was the fact that foxes can't move in the opponent's shooting phase, or whatever it is.
Which makes complete sense.
Like, it's not even that it's not that much of a nerf. There are other units in the book that are more than viable.
Yep.
That we've seen go to other tournaments. Your Warden spam is
Sentinels.
Your Warden spam, your Sentinel spam in different lists are also well versed. It's not like the foxes are the be-all, end-all of Lumineth lists. Yet they're one of like 3 competitive options at the moment. In terms of lists. So even with them getting a little bit of a hit, I'm really, really surprised that we haven't seen even one Lumineth player here. But
You know, what is quite nice is that you've got... I know some of them are pretty strong, but you mentioned they have options for lists, which is really good. That's the nice thing about the book, is that you can build multiple lists.
yeah, like certainly in competitive play, from what I've seen, there is at least 3 steady options for decent... Like, sure, maybe not 5-0 lists.
Yeah.
Maybe more like 4-1, 3-2 lists.
Yeah.
But there is a good range of play, and let's not forget, not everyone coming to this 80-man tournament is, going for the top competitive rung. We can see that by the fact that someone bought Bone Splitters. So even for your average player that is, your average Lumineth enjoyer, it's a surprise not to see someone that just likes the range hasn't bought some.
Yeah.
Similarly with Caradron Overlords, I'm surprised. But at the same time, I'd quite happily see a Caradron Overlords. I'm quite happy not to see Lumineth, so... That's absolutely it.
Who doesn't like Caradron Overlords?
Well, they were kind of a scourge for the last edition, dominating for a long period of time. So maybe some people are glad to see the back end of the Caradron Overlords, but they are suffering a little bit as well now. Don't get me wrong, competent Caradron Overlord players who have been playing the army for a long time and know its strengths and weaknesses, certainly a decent, maybe low mid-tier army at the moment, but sure, if they're going up against your long strikes and stuff, maybe they won't have too much of a shot.
It's a little more difficult for them, isn't it?
Yeah. But if they're going up against your average casual army, they should still be, able to compete.
It depends what your build is, right? Because like an ironclad is really solid, and you have to build a list around an ironclad pretty much. But you also have to take Gotrek in it to make it really good.
A lot of people are taking the Celestant Prime, I believe, for Carajons now. I mean, a lot of people are taking Celestant Prime in everything, so...
He's really good. 4 at ward on his War Scroll. A D3 mortal wound spam in the hero phase. Sorry, in the shooting phase. Auto charge whatever you want, or auto hit, or auto wound. Yeah, it's really good.
Right, so we haven't got what battle tactics being done this round, but we've seen Alinda move up. Now that the Hex Rays are gone, they're no longer protecting her. We've had the Grimghast also move up towards those Abhorrent Arch Regents, which I assume they'll probably get into and kill this phase.
Yeah.
And the Harridans coming up in their place. As I said while you were away last time, I think there is play in both taking... what's he already taken? You can take Conquer this turn quite easily. You've also got... I can't remember what I said now about 5 minutes ago. You've obviously got the Battle Line one, which 3 goals, it's almost a given.
I think Broken Ranks was the selected choice.
Yeah, almost a complete given.
They haven't put it in the app, unfortunately, but I believe that's what is the choice.
Oh, Aggressive Expansion, that was the other one, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't think you can risk aggro at this point.
Yeah, well, yeah. From the way that the Grimghast were before, they could easily have moved and got into those goals. Yeah. I don't think you... I mean, you could get it before this Terrorgeist, if it moves this time, manages to get into the back of you, because you never know who's going to get the... It says turn 4 for some reason. This is turn 3.
It's because they hit complete battle round at the bottom of the turn.
Fair enough. But yeah, if the Flesh Eater Courts do get that, obviously, they've still got a lot of swing.
Yeah.
That Terrorgeist could come in and absolutely ruin someone's day.
Yeah.
Or a couple of people's day with Feast Day.
Very possibly. So, 1 goal gone. Which means he now has to...
Kill 2 ghouls.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd imagine... Maybe that was a Linda shoot, or maybe that was the Krulgar shooting.
That was the Crawlgast, I believe.
The Krulgast, okay.
And now they're doing the charge rolls. The Harridans on the left-hand side missed.
Yep. Oh, hello, cat.
7... 7 on the Grimghasts, unfortunately. I think he was looking for a bit of a 10. So he could possibly fight before, but unfortunately no.
He likes your bag to sleep on.
Nice. He's not like scenting it or anything, is he?
No, he's just rolling around. I love this cat.
Lovely.
Getting distracted by the Element Games cat that just wanders around during an 80-man tournament.
Hope nobody... Are you just chilling on my bag?
He loves it. He's going mental back there. Absolutely love him. What's his name?
I do not know. There was a massive 10 charge, though, from the Harridans, so they'll get to fight before they do anything.
It's a shame that it's into 8 goals. But you know what? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Take the free
fight. It means you It means you almost certainly kill that unit of ghouls this round.
Or potentially. Does it have to be more than 10, or can it be a 10?
It can be a 10. I mean, if it was more than a 10, it would just be horrendous. I mean, that'll be why it's getting changed. Because It's not a very good thing. But here's the profile of the Dread Scythe Harridans. Ghouls have a 6-up save, so they're
7.
going straight through with Rend.
Yeah.
Unless they get an all-out defense. That doesn't. The Harrowing Shriek doesn't apply because Ghouls are Bravery 10, and you score 2 hits if you make an attack roll of 6.
Yeah.
And +1 to the leader. And they've got 3 attacks apiece, so they're certainly not shabby.
No, but in the new book, they ignore Rend. Ward saves.
That is in a specific subfaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why would you not? With the amount of ward saves that are out there.
Because I think 3 of the factions are viable in that, really viable in that book. And that's obviously one of them. The Harridan spam is going to be one potential list that I know has been knocking around. Especially with, as you said, the prevalence of ward saves in some armies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always really nice when it goes across, you come up against a Go-Trek.
Straight through his ward.
Yeah, and as we were just mentioning, a lot of armies taking Celestant Primes. That's your 4-up ward.
Straight through the ward.
Who else
Fish,
has got a big ward?
Idoneth.
Yeah,
Every
Idoneth.
Idoneth person with a fish.
Yeah, if they've got High Tide, turn 2 with a priest. That's your 5-up ward. So there's a lot of play in that. Unfortunately, your Bone Splitters get a little bit done over with their 6-up ward.
Stormcast near an objective.
Yeah, absolutely. All death armies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly a really, really strong subfaction that they've got to look forward to in the new book. Poor Bone Splitters. They'll not get their save because they've got a passive rend of -1, and they'll not get their ward because they ignore the ward. I'm sorry, all 5 Bone Splitter players out there. I'm really sorry.
It's alright, they'll get they'll get a White Dwarf update, right? That just makes them insane again. Maybe they get like triple shoot or something.
I don't know, because the Arrow Boys were, pretty much the only thing keeping them afloat for a while, I believe.
Well, there was, I think Byron, who's here today, took 60 Arrow Boys to a Warhammer World GT at one point and took the event with them.
Yeah.
Because they were because that was back in AOS 2.
Yeah, with the Cunning Ruck.
Yeah.
No, that was back when they were good. They've been slightly hit since then in this new book for War Clans. I don't know what Bone Splitters did to deserve the wrath of the designers in this book, but they certainly took the brunt of it, except the Wurgog Prophet, who we have 3 of here today.
Do we only have 3 Wurgogs?
We probably have 4. There's probably one in the big war list.
We have 3 Wurgogs in one list.
3 Wurgogs in a list. Beautiful.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 Wurgogs here, and 3 of them are in one list.
Right, so there is 1 Brave Ghoul left in that unit that's been charged by the Harridans. I imagine after another fight, that Ghoul will probably be no more.
Most likely.
He can flee to Bravery because he's lost 7 as well.
Yep.
Unless that Terrorgeist really wants to use a command point to make it stay.
Potentially.
Well, yeah, if he doesn't get priority, those Harridans then have to fight it next turn instead of moving up.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've got to remember that Speckles could double turn.
Absolutely. So we've got the unit of Grimghast surrounding both Archregents.
Spadge, D3 plus 1 mortal. D3 mortal wounds to D3 plus 1 units at the start of each battle round is nice. It's chip damage. Nurgle get that pretty much inherently with their disease. I think the ability to ignore wards flat out, I think, is really strong.
I think another one people are going to be using is the Bladegeist one, which is roll dice equal to the number of models in a unit after a charge.
Yeah.
Any 6s or mortal wounds. So if you've got a 30 block of them, 30 D6. 30, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think D3 units taking D3 mortals. I mean, it's the start of each battle round, but I don't think that outweighs the potential for killing a whole army in a turn.
The other one, the no retreating one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good.
The incarnate one.
Yeah. No, I think almost all of the sub-factions are going to see use.
Yeah. They say that, yeah, I don't think, from a first glance of the book, I don't think there's an outlier.
No. I think it's just overall a solid book. I don't think it's going to be immediate, like, this is stupid. I think it's going to be good. Good. I like the ghosts.
Broken Ranks was achieved.
Broken Ranks was
slaughtered the 2 ghouls.
slaughtered the 3 ghouls.
Well, he killed 2. He killed. He killed 1 in the hero phase.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a massive surprise, is it? So if we consider he's not going to get hold more this phase, he's just going to get hold 1. So that is what, your 1 point? He's going to have he's completed his battle tactic. Didn't do it with a monster though. This is where you should have turned a Linda into a monster, charged her in, and got the points. So he'll equal up on the VP.
A Spad, you can just heroic recovery on your support hero. You do the mortal wounds and you heroic recovery, because if it's the start of the battle round or the turn,
You can't do your heroic recovery while in range of anything else though.
no, but Spad is saying auto killing your opponent's support heroes without interaction gets my vote. But you will take the D3 mortal wounds, and then your heroic action you can just heroic recovery to then heal those D3 wounds.
The one little brave ghoul has died.
Of course, naturally, you would assume such a thing.
Absolutely. So I think this is the Archregent number 1 going on to the things. He's got +1 attack by the looks of it. Though it doesn't seem to have done all that much with the attacks.
Pretty much not a lot.
Yeah,
One that goes through.
The Abhorrent Ghoul King and likewise the Ghoul King are not powerhouses in combat.
For the purposes of rampages, you can do it with it. I don't believe. Oh, chuck me the GHB. I'll have a look.
For what?
The realm spell. Priority going into.
I say no, sorry. For the battle tactic, I don't 100% know if it says it has to be in your starting army.
No. He's talking about. Oh, you mean for the Wait, which battle tactic? Sorry, Broken Ranks.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's just a monster with a keyword monster.
Yeah, because some of them do specify it has to have been in your starting army. So yeah, there we go. We see Nighthaunt at the end of the turn, equal the VP out.
The spell gives you the monster keyword.
Yeah. So who gets priority here? This is a crucial turn.
It's looking like Nick got priority.
So it's a very crucial turn this time. It's a shame that he's given up Slay the Warlord already. Though, what potentially can he do now? Again, he could try Conquer on that middle objective. The Terrorgeist, of course, is worth the 5 points for being a monster-ridden hero. He just needs to get rid of, one of those units that's on it, which with a Feast Day fight, he should be more than able to take. The Corpse Cart should be a guaranteed kill. And then take out the Knight of Shrouds on Ethereal Steed as well. What else can he do? He can bring the Flayers into a Linda if needs be. He can also bring the Flayers into the middle and try and conquer that objective. Is there anything realistically he'd want to achieve? Again, if he doesn't move those Flayers, he has Savage Spearhead. So there is multiple options he could do. I think just because of the secondary objectives in this event, I think probably now is the time to send that Terrorgeist in, try and wipe as much as you can off that middle objective, and then hopefully in the transition to next turn, lose it.
Our Skaven player didn't win his next game.
Beautiful.
His last game. Which
Sad,
is great,
but
because that's what we want. We want it on the stream, so...
Hopefully the Bone Splitters won and they match up.
It was Broken Ranks. They did get it. Nick did get priority. He rolled a 6.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously goes first.
Mm-hmm. So we're just talking about what battle tactics you do here as Flesh Eater Courts.
Yeah.
I said you can conquer the middle objective. You can fly him in, Feast Day, wipe as much as you can off that objective as possible now.
Savage. It's 2 points.
Savage. That was also another one. Free. But even if it is Savage that you go for, I'd still go with you want to start throwing that Terrorgeist in and wiping as much of that out as possible so you can get the hold 1, hold 2.
Yeah. Hold more.
Hold one, and then start getting your terror guys to a bit lower wound so that hopefully next turn you can send him to his death.
Yeah. So Speckles already does have 5 victory points in hand.
Yep.
Because he's completed his secondary objective.
Yeah.
Currently, he has 10 victory points in hand because he has also denied Nick from his.
Yeah.
Now Nick's is get all of his monsters killed. Oh, sorry. Don't get his battle tactic.
Yeah.
Grand strategy, sorry.
Yeah. So, yeah, for those of you joining maybe halfway through the stream, the event here has a extra set of objectives that you can... There's a list of 10. You pick one per game and try and get some extra points, just for a little bit more added fun. So in this game, the Nighthaunt player picked to slay their opponent's highest pointed Behemoth, which is that only counts as one. Which he's done. He killed that Mega Gargant in turn 2.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the Flesh Eater Court picked. No, that was that one. I have a cunning plan, which is to win the battle, but without completing your grand strategy. So
it's a bold choice. What are the other options he could have gone with?
He does need to win. So even if he does that, he still needs to win, which makes this an actually quite hard one to do. Other options. So all of these, of course, are references. So you've got number 1, the Eagles are coming.
Yeah.
Have at least 2 units with the fly keyword contesting objectives at the end of the turn.
Sorry, I've just realised these are majoritively Lord of the Rings quotes. Sorry, carry on.
Yes, they are. Including that one. The dead cost nothing. Score this if all allied units on your roster are dead by the end of the battle.
All allied?
Well, I mean, can you argue for Nighthaunt that you get that regardless?
Corpse cart.
He needs to suicide the corpse
yeah,
cart.
because it's got a guy sat on it, hasn't it?
Apart from that, technically, all dead.
Yeah.
You can read that one. Do it in a nice, epic voice, please.
Not by Grabthar's hammer, you should be avenged.
Epic.
By Grabthar's hammer, you shall be avenged!
Destroy the unit which is responsible for the death of your first hero before the end of the game.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Do this one in a nice dramatic voice, please.
A dramatic voice? No, that's just there's no place like home.
There's no place like home. Nominate one hero to be your Dorothy. They must be contesting one of the objectives in your territory at the end of the battle.
That is actually what he says. That's brilliant.
Then you've got only counts as 1. Slay your opponent's highest value pointed Behemoth, which we've seen both games now.
Yeah.
And as a reminder, you can only do this once per game throughout the tournament. Yeah. So once you've chosen one, regardless of if you fail or complete it, it's gone. Just 1 to tell the tale. Leave your opponent with no more or less than 1 hero by the end of the battle. Hard. They're coming out of the damn walls. In fact, I censored the wrong part of that one to potentially be family friendly, depending on your thing. Successfully rally 6 models back into your starting battle line unit throughout the game. No more, no less? It doesn't say.
Oh.
I have a cunning plan. Win the battle without completing your grand strategy. I volunteer as tribute. Ensure your hero with the lowest number of wounds survives the battle, whilst the one with the highest dies. And if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Our favourite Lord of the Rings quote of the day. Have 3 separate units inflict a wound on a single target in 1 shooting phase.
Yeah.
Which we saw picked last game,
yeah.
but unfortunately did not occur.
Fair.
So, what's happened in this old Flesh Eater Court turn? The ghouls on the bottom objective have moved forward, and the Harridans... They redeploy slightly?
So look, these down here are no, they haven't redeployed. Alinda's just redeployed.
Yeah.
And now the Terrorgeist is going to get to move.
So I'm assuming that we're probably not going with the Savage Spearhead. Or maybe we are with that movement on the Terrorgeist.
I believe we are at Savage Spearhead, hence why the ghouls have moved this side. So they're all in range. No, that's his own deployment.
Yeah, so it'll be the unit of Flayers and the Terrorgeist.
No, these are in Speckle's deployment.
Oh, yes, it's the staircase.
Yeah, so these are in. These are in, these are in, these are in.
Yeah.
Because this is the Nighthaunt deployment, and this is the Flesh Eater Court deployment.
Yeah. So they've got it. They have the Savage Spearhead if that was indeed the one picked this turn. But what does this do setting you up for turn 5? I mean, this combat up here, your Abhorrent Archregents are dead at the end of this turn, more than likely.
Yeah.
They might take a few Grimgrassed out with them, but what what are you getting from this in setup for next turn? Are you setting up for a conquer on that middle objective next turn? Because you're still potentially giving away that bottom objective to the Harridans on those ghouls. As we've seen, the Harridans can wipe a unit of ghouls easily. I personally still would have gone for the charge into the middle, do as much damage as possible, conquer move.
Yep.
But maybe there's something I'm missing seeing. It could be that the Terror guy still charges Alinda. He's shouting at her.
Yep.
For 2 mortals? So I mean, even if one of those units, if the unit of 3 flares charge, he's still got Savage Spearhead, and he can still, because that Terrorgeist is in range, he can make them feast day and attack twice.
Yep.
Take out Alinda, maybe take out the little character that's nearby her as well. Charge on the unit of 1 flayers into the Harridans. The unit of 3 flayers with a 10 into the little unit and Alinda. Will the Terrorgeist charge as well? 7. Will he be Savage Spearheading then?
Yeah, he is.
We've just moved.
They're all in range.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because it's there.
These silly staircases, man.
Like they're all in. The only one that isn't in is this unit here. Everybody else is in range.
Yes, it's the silly staircase deployments. So what will he start off with? It kind of almost feels like he's thrown that 1 flayer into certain death. But Alinda has shown herself to be able to whack 3 flayers out. So yep. I do wonder who he starts with here. We now see some chocolate confectionery being offered across the board.
Yeah.
Those look like some lovely brownies.
Got to take it where you can.
Absolutely.
Okay, so a cheeky little 2 points here for Nick. Well, you got to remember, Apex unit, Apex unit, Apex unit. The only one left is this unit here.
Yeah. I think that was just the monstrous action onto Alinda, maybe?
Yeah, you might as well stomp.
I think he roared her. No, roaring is useless. Is this going to be the Fanged Maw? Rerolling failed hits, all 3. He gets 6 mortal wounds. Which I believe would finish Alinda off if these go through.
Yep.
But we've got 5 up save because of the Cruelgraft Cruciator. I believe she's alive on just a single wound, or maybe 2 left. She's now got obviously all the claws to go into her, and then the guy on top too.
Yeah, I imagine the regents are probably dead that are surrounded by those Harridans. Oh, sorry, the Grimghasts.
Oh, I'm surprised that they didn't do it last turn, to be honest. But he might have also given one of them Finest Hour this turn.
Yep.
Obviously, if one did it last turn, potentially. But we've got 2 more saves on Alinda. And Alinda is dead. Sent back to the underworld with good old Kurdos.
Easy peasy.
Right, we're now seeing if with Feast Day we can get another pile in. So he gets the 3-inch pile in there. But he's not dragged the Knight of Shrouds with Ethereal Steed into combat. So now see the Fanged Maw going in again with another 6 mortal wounds. And the Corpse Cart is instantly obliterated.
I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, Speckles didn't get that turnout, so I think this game would be. I think it's quite an even game, to be honest with you. And what you got to remember is there is still currently 10 points in hand for Speckles because of the secondaries.
I mean, there's a guaranteed 5. There's still a debatable another 5. But if Speckles gets the double turn into turn 5, he guarantees that.
Yep.
Which is going to be massive. And I don't think the Flesh Eater Corpse can come back from that unless he finds a way to suicide himself.
Yeah, because you can't voluntarily move off.
You
the
can't
board.
voluntarily not attack things.
You can't voluntarily not attack things. You can't. There's no way. You have to mortal wound yourself.
He would have to miscast. He would have to miscast and then slam himself into another thing. Of which, even then, even though you have to attack with all the weapons, you don't have to pile in with everything.
Yeah.
So if he charges into the Harridans, he's got 4 attacks. That's potentially, I mean, it still potentially could kill him.
Yeah.
I think this is the attacks onto that one lone guy. But with the way this is going, if this is a Nighthaunt double turn, I don't think Flesh Eater Corpse can win going into turn 5. Unless there's some incredible mortal wound to selfage.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm trying to work out. I'm calculating max points here. It's 6 a turn for Nick.
Yeah.
Which means that he'd be on 24. Versus the 12 from Speckles.
For those still playing, just over 10
Just under 12 minutes left. Okay, so they are going to time on this game.
Yep.
will be a dice down.
This is... I think this goes down to, can he find a way to get that Terrorgeist killed off? Because if Speckles is thinking with these secondary objectives in mind, surely he just runs away. So this turn he will get the hold 1, hold 2, hold more.
And then we've got some more pile-ins going in. Because they made a charge, they are able to make a pile-in. You don't need to do it again with the Terrorgeist because you're already... you're safe where you are. You're in Spearhead territory. You're fine.
Let's say they quite clearly polish off this little dude in the middle here. I would heavily assume no, they did not. Instant being proven wrong. Another surprise. You've got to assume that these Harridans will kill this player.
Okie dokie, so coming to the end of this sort of game and the time that is available, the players, once they have done, once they have finished this game, will be sent to stop. Basically, sorry, once the time has run out, they'll be told to stop their game, and whatever the score is whatever the score is.
Oh, is it that way that? That's the way it works in this
I believe so. I believe. So.
Okay. I mean, at this point currently, that puts the Nighthaunt at a win because they've got the 5 for denying and the 5 for scoring.
Yeah.
Right, so as predicted, the Flayer, the single Flayer that went into the Harridans has died. I think this is now the second Archregent into the Grimghast pile. I don't think it's realistically gonna ever be able to do enough. I have Ethereal piling into the Flayers.
Which kind of makes sense here.
Well, nothing else to do.
Yeah, exactly. You've got nothing else to do. Hey, Jess, how's it going? Oh, the dice on Nick's side of the table have done nothing but 1s and 2s all day. Apart from the 18 mortal wounds that he did into the Harridans in turn 1, but that's beside the point.
Yep. So that's one of them down. And with that, I believe that's the end of that turn. Because he counts as 5, and then you got one more there for 6. I don't know if the rim of that base must be touching on the lower one as well. So he should hold 1, hold 2, hold more.
Give it a second, Nick. Yeah, there you go. Sorry. Hold 1, hold 2, hold more. He did his battle tactic, whatever it was. I imagine it was savage. He did it again. He clicked complete battle round at the bottom. Aggressive expansion, Speckles has said.
Okay, aggressive expansion.
Yeah.
Okay, he should more than be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really simple here, right? He just comes this way.
Yeah, doesn't even need to touch those ghouls if he doesn't need to.
Yeah, because unless you're going to get a massive 6 on the redeploy, you're not going to get them all in range. And then you can probably just charge in with them, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if all else fails, he gets that 6-inch redeploy. In fact, they can't redeploy closer at that point.
Sorry?
They can't redeploy closer at that point, can they?
What do you mean?
Because he's going to block it off.
Well, no, but he can take this unit, if he gets a 6-inch that way, and then he just basically redeploys over this section. He doesn't need to be 6 inches away, he's just trying to get them all on the objective at that point.
He flees from combat.
Yep.
I mean, if you just pull... I don't think he's going to be able to pull the Grimghast off.
I don't think he needs to. Because he's got the Harridan still. Keeping them up that extra turn was actually really clutch. Shooting phase. Yep, 2 shooting from the curator there, or whatever his name is.
Cruciator. I think with that, he actually didn't activate his 5-up ward aura.
Correct.
Because he saved them both.
He did a double 6. I wonder how much that 5-up ward has actually saved him comparatively.
I mean, it's big, isn't it? It's another 16% chance to save.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then another big charge in there.
How much was it on the charge?
I can't see because Speckles' head's in the way.
Well, there was a 3, so it's not going to be a 10. 3-inch charge into the ghouls.
Oh yeah, look at that 3-inch on the dice. Unfortunate to say the least, those Speckles, but
I mean, it got them in. They just need to... I mean, they didn't even need to get in, did they?
I think he's thinking if he can kill them, then in his turn he's got the ability to move them on to the centre objective and take out the flayers, potentially.
Right, so we're going to see the Harridans go into the Terrorgeist first of all.
Yeah, let me check how many wounds it's got left.
Right, so with all them Harridans, it should be 30 attacks on that Terrorgeist at 4s and 3s -1.
12 left on that Terrorgeist.
And yeah, we've got 30 attacks going in on that.
Jesus.
I'm assuming that we're probably going to all-out attack as well for 3s and 3s.
Yeah, and there'll be an all-out defense going back.
Yeah, so he'll be up to a 3-up.
And they are wholly within 12 of the Guardian of Souls, so they'll be getting themselves +1 to wound.
Yeah, so 3s and 2s -1. 1 damage, and any 6s to hits, being 2 hits.
Yep.
And it looks like he got 5 6s in that.
Yeah.
So 5 extra hits.
Nicely done.
And then 2s to wound after this.
Yep. This is quite a big one. 2s to wound. 12.
I only see 1 1 at a glance. No, 2 1s.
$28. Oh my god.
28 saves at -1. So 4 ups, 14 damage through on average. Then
Death
6 up
saves.
death save. So it looks like he's been fairly good on those saves.
Solid amount of
5, 6, 7 damage.
he's got to roll these again.
Then 6
Death saves.
So 6 damage through by the looks of it. 4s.
Oh no, sorry, he was this is now the death saves. Because he was rolling his dice to make sure he made up the number of attacks.
Okay.
He's got 2 wounds left.
2 wounds left. What a shame.
Soften
I mean, I
him up.
think that Knight might be within piling range.
He is.
Obviously, they're going to block that off with the flayers. Do we know what battle? He went aggro, didn't he? Not bring it down or something.
Yeah, aggressive expansion.
Yeah.
He'll say he should say bring it down. Speckle should definitely save that. It's a free turn himself into a monster with his with his Guardian of Souls. Oh no, he's not got a tome. Never mind.
Okay, so the dragon has piled away out of 3.
That makes sense.
He's piled back into 3.
He's gonna go with the flayers.
Yeah, and then block movement, like I assumed.
Yeah.
So the dragon lives another turn.
On 2 wounds. Speckles wants that dragon alive, to be fair.
Yeah, I believe he still holds this objective. I can't see how many Harridans are actually on that point.
3.
3.
4,
So
5, 6, 7, 8, 9 models there for Speckles
yeah,
versus the 9 models there for Nick.
so he needs to take out one of these flayers.
He did nothing. And now he's feasting.
So if he can take out the Knight Shrouds here, he denies the Nighthaunt control 2, control more.
Yep. And if not, then he's just going to slap him in the face.
Potentially.
It's 2 damage each on the Night Shrouds. It's pretty solid.
There we go. He didn't manage to kill the Knight.
That is the end of the round. There is quite a quick turnaround. So you can put dice down, work out one, go make them
And that is time called on the game.
Yeah, so I think they're just going to
Finish this combat
finish
off.
this turn and then go from there.
Because if all he needs to do is kill one of them, and he's got the point. And that was some poor saves. He needs to make this, otherwise it's dead.
Oh, he killed the Terrorgeist, and this is blowing up, I think.
Oh. Well.
So he gets a monster point.
Does get the monstrous point, but he has given 5. Ironically, he has given Nick 5 points. And note, because Nick still needs to win. It says win with your grand strategy. So he still gets an
Win the battle. But
win the battle. So as long as he doesn't count as winning, he still gets an extra 5 points. Ironically.
Oh, this is so strange. If he doesn't know, if Nick doesn't count as winning, Speckles gets 10 points.
Yes.
Oh, what?
So currently it is 17 versus 17 due to the extra added points.
Yes.
But
they've also not put Speckles' turn in.
Yeah.
Which is hold 1, hold 2, hold more.
Yes.
Battle tactic, kill the monster. He'll get 6. So before he even goes to secondaries, Speckles will be 18, place 17.
And next turn, no matter who wins priority, Flesh Eater Courts cannot score anything.
There won't be a next turn. Dice down.
Well, I know, but via talking it out, if they were to talk it out, Flesh Eater Courts could do nothing, and then Nighthaunt would do a battle tactic and hold 1, hold 2, hold more. Because they could easily do run 3. Yeah. So it's a guaranteed Nighthaunt win at this point.
Yep.
Yep, Nighthaunt have taken it. Despite the...
And the grand strategy.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, so Nighthaunt have taken it despite the tragic turn 1 and 2 for them.
Yeah.
He has managed to pull it back. And it was all thanks to that Mega Gargant falling on a Terrorgeist.
Yep, literally thanks to that. Yep. 18-17. Yep. Oh, and your grand strategy, so 21-17.
And then plus your points with new secondary objectives.
1 second. Chat, we'll be back in just a second. Give us a moment. Oh, there you go. I'll take that. Thank you very much. So, no, not Beastmaster. Predator's Domain.
Predator's Domain.
Yeah. Which
nice
will have
choice.
Been
nice choice of grand strategy.
And then it doesn't really matter about battle tactics because neither player would get a chance to do them in the last turn. Sorry. So, 21-17 ending on that, which is pretty darn good. Well done to both players. Thank you very much, each of them, for playing. It's a pretty quick turnaround for the next one. So what we're going to do is we're going to be right back.
Yep. Figure out who's up next. And we'll be there. Sorry for the really quick turnaround and the sporadic end to the game, chat. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back in like 15 minutes, I think, is the break. Yeah, something like that.
Which for 18 players is a bold move, Alex, but we'll see if it pays off. Not a comment on your haircut, mate. Other than that, we will be back here at what time is it now? It is in about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. Back for game number 3 of the day, and then we've got 2 more games tomorrow. I believe we might have Skaven next.
We'll see.
But we'll see. Other than that, I'll catch you guys in a bit.